How about we start with like a question board? Like we have one guy ask the question.
Hey there, welcome.
Oh, did you wait? I'll play it during the video.
What? No, don't, because it's gonna be hard to translate.
No, I'm not gonna play that.
Just go come as close
I'm
as
not
we
autistic
can.
like your mama.
Alright, hello, welcome to probably the 13th or 14th Autscast.
Even though I've only been part of one, and that was in the car that got cut off because everyone was distracted as fuck.
Yeah, that's Thomas, by
I
the
said
way.
my piece. Hi, I'm Thomas.
Yeah, so
T-man. This is D-man, that's L-man, that's B-man.
if you're pointing, it doesn't make a difference. Somebody can see you pointing.
I know. I don't care. I'm just muscle memory.
Anyway, we're here with Logan.
Hello.
You've never met him before. You never will again. He's never coming back. Brendan.
Hey.
He made it back.
B-dog.
Yeah. I was in one Autscast.
He was in the second one
back.
for about 10 minutes.
Is
That
Autscast-
probably won't get published ever.
Yeah.
And then he's in this one now.
Is that short for autistic
Yes.
podcast? Okay.
Yes.
It's the we came up with in the first Autscast, and then Thomas as well. And the main feature tying us all together is we were all in Scouts, Boy Scouts, for 7 years, and so we figured, what a great way to introduce, these other characters of this life, of this show, than to talk about.
This
Boy
wasn't
Scouts.
very well prepared with.
Well, obviously
No,
not.
they're not.
We
All of them are
don't,
not very
we don't
prepared.
script this.
Man, none of them are. Logan. Why is the fireplace on such a hot day, Logan?
It's pilot light, Thomas.
Yeah, but this isn't the freaking
what the hell
9/11 pilot.
It's a 9/11 pilot light. What kind of pilot is this?
No.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right. So
Where should we start?
let's start off in chronological order. I want to
Yep.
start. I want to personally
Boulder Falls.
Boulder
All right,
Falls.
Boulder Falls first
Year
camp
one.
out. Year 1, day 1.
Was that Sage or
Knives.
before that?
That's when we were obsessed with our knives.
Was that with Jacob Ainley? Was with us?
Yeah, and Keith.
Anal? Yeah.
Keith.
What about Corbin? No, he wasn't there yet.
No.
No, it was just
Younger.
us four: Jacob, Keith,
That
Michael.
was the good old days. What about John
Sean.
Castle? Was he there or no?
Yeah, Michael Moore, Superman.
Grady Briggs.
Was he ever in?
Yeah, like Cub Scouts, and then he like
Mhm.
died.
Anyway, first outing. The main thing I remember, I'll say, is that we were planning it, and we're like, "Oh, dude, this is gonna be great. We're gonna be on ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's plan something epic to eat. Let's get steaks.
That's
yeah,
what
let's
I
have
remember.
steak.
Yeah,
steak
and-
for."
Is that Landon's old fling?
No, he said
They
that-
never dated.
Are
Yeah.
you still in the senior assassin?
Not anymore.
What
You
happened?
got caught.
It was a free for all last week, and you had to kill somebody by tonight at midnight. And I'm partners with Rachel in the senior assassin, and so we agreed that if neither of us, or if we both don't get somebody, then one of us will shoot the other one to stay in the game.
Okay.
And so we decided that I'm more likely to get shot because I have a job and she doesn't. So
So
it was
if
the
you shot-
It was the objective decision.
That's a no.
Wait,
way
is
to
they
go.
gonna split the money?
Yeah, and then we're gonna split the money if she wins it. Anyway, back to the story.
Is it still recording?
Yeah,
Okay.
Wait, has it been recording her conversation?
I have no idea if I recorded the phone call.
I doubt it, but okay, guys, resume.
Yeah, so
It's not going to be as good of a punchline now.
what?
Oh, the burgers.
The steaks. Well,
Yeah.
there's the punchline.
Oh,
Okay,
that was a punchline.
damn, Tom.
The burger patties.
Yeah.
Oh, the burgers.
I remember Michael, Big Michael Moore.
Yep.
He was like, "Yeah, guys, you guys look, you're gonna eat
It's a
like
good
shit,
impression.
aren't you?" I just remember him like kind of harassing us. Do you remember
Is
that?
he one that was supposed to bring it?
Yeah, he. fucking-
And then there's
and then
Nick
my
who
dad.
actually brought a steak because he didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my dad talking about it, and he was like, "Yeah, those kids, they didn't know how to prepare. It was like one of their first outings, so they were salivating when they looked at our food, and they're like, we gave them some. Like, we contributed to their fucking, what is it? What did he say? To their misfortune. He's like, yeah, they
Yeah.
enjoyed it, and like their food would have been terrible. They would have been starving.
Michael
was
brought
just
a
like-
Dutch oven too.
Yeah, he walked
Oh yeah,
in.
he had like two. Like, oh. I was like,
Yeah, Michael was this big, burly,
insane.
brave 17-year-old man with all us 11-year-olds. We're just a bunch of 11-year-olds drawing with markers on our faces and running around in circles, and then big old Michael comes by with his Dutch oven.
Sets us straight.
Yeah, he spanked us good. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Wait, was that the
Scared the gay out of us.
guys.
Well, out of me at least. Okay, guys.
scared it back into me? That's Logan, was that the camp out where you tried to
Forced
pee
it
out
in
of the
my
tent?
P.O.
Pee out of the tent? Like there's a hole in the tent?
I did
Oh, I
get out
did
of the tent.
Oh,
And
There was
that-
no try about it. There was only success.
Was that camp though at Boulder Falls?
Yeah.
Wait,
That's
did you-
one of them.
Elaborate on
Did you
that.
use the cat hole?
There was
or
a
the-
hole. He stuck his
Right.
wee wee in it
Yeah.
and peed out of it.
Yeah, it was like a doggy door. I was like,
No,
oh.
it was like just a hole. Wasn't
Was
it?
it really?
I think it was just a hole cut like in the tent that was just there. And you're like, I bet I could pee out of that.
On
And
that
you
topic,
did.
on that topic, there was at Fire Mountain that same year, Keith. We all won the shower before.
I think I talked about this on an Autscast already.
Before you did.
Where he took his dick in the hole.
Yeah, and then he made fun
God.
of everyone. Did you talk about when he made fun of their other guy's cock? He's like, yeah, look at that one, looks like a slug.
Yeah.
How did he say that? I think
he's
it was
like
In front of the guy.
there was no he had foreskin still, and he was like, yeah, look at that one. He was like making fun of people's cocks in there.
This is like Boy Scouts, the most anti-gay, like one of the most anti-gay organizations, and then they have like at camps they have like these big like communal showers.
Like these Jewish.
that very closely resemble like Jewish gas chambers, like.
Yes, actually, it's like you walk in and it's like just an open shower and then like stalls
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yep.
And there's like holes in the wall and it's like,
There actually are, yeah.
disgusting.
That's
That's so the girls could peep in and get horny.
except like the
Or
the two
there's no
girls on
girls there.
camp.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
like the
Well,
two.
no, remember the nurse we hit on? Everyone would like cut them.
She wasn't a nurse, but
Yeah, she was. She was the medic.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Everyone
was
was
she a
trying to
medic?
get-
I
Dude,
thought she was
feel
a
like
cook.
thick as
I thought she
fuck.
was a cook.
No, she was the medic.
I think the orange haired
At
one.
Fire Mountain the first year.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
she was blonde. She had like really tan.
Oh, I
neck.
don't remember this.
Little
She was-
kids
yeah.
kept going in saying, I'm feeling bad. I think I have a cold or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't
Like
know that.
trying to flirt with her.
That's
Even
fucking
though it's
funny.
kind of weird, 11-year-olds hooking up with like fucking 20-year-olds.
Trying to.
hooking up, like yeah.
like trying to hook up. Like,
Yo, girl, you got the hook up.
The medic's a slut, guys.
Dude.
Well, if she banged two of them, it'd be a 22-year-old kind of like banging.
That's not-
So it'd be kind of like, so if you did a three-way, it'd be valid.
If you stick both of them at the same time,
Yeah, it'd be just as
it's
valid.
of age.
Yeah, that's together.
Combine them. That's how I look at it.
We're contaminating
But
Logan's
what
Christian
I was
life.
thinking of is, I think it was the second year of Fire Mountain, which was actually 3 years into Scouts for us when we were 13 or 14.
Was that when you were pissed at me?
Yeah, that was the year I got really
That's
pissed.
like every year. Like
Yeah,
No,
every
that
year.
was-
Me and Thomas's friendship was really strained from like 5th grade to probably 9th grade.
Ninth grade. Yeah, like high school, start of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
In
high
what
school
way?
was good, but middle school was like really rough.
Yeah.
Rough idol.
But I remember there was like this one, like the girl that like, was the guide for us, like led us to our campsite, was like really attractive, and she has orange hair, and everybody would hit on her.
Oh yeah.
the salad ninja.
Yeah, she called her. She's like, I'm a
William-
salad ninja.
William.
And then
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
we were
yeah.
like, everyone was like, William, that's your girlfriend. And then he like went over to her, and like put his head like on her shoulder, and then she just like basically ran away.
Yeah, William is this like peevish little like
freak.
like when we joined, we were like 13 or 14. He was like 11 or 12 or something, and he like just he had this look to him. He had this demeanor to him.
Imagine
Yeah.
if the Roadrunner character was like a human, like
Yeah, very
That's
accurate.
William.
A little bit weirder though.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's talk about William a bit. Okay, so like my number one story with William is we were in snow campouts once. We built igloos, and like me and Brendan, some other guy, were building our igloo, and then like we went over to look at the other igloos, or like snow caves, not really igloos. They're just
Yeah.
like dug in the side of a mountain,
Yeah.
and like there was William and like two other guys in this one, and they had dug a pretty okay one, and then like we left and William was in there by himself. We came back and he had dug a small little like cave within their cave that he was staying in and had like bars in the window that he put there like of ice basically, and he was like just sitting there like in there like laughing to himself, and we all came in and looked at him, and then he dug a little trough for himself and then peed in the snow cave
Yeah.
and had to go down the trough out the door, but like kind of pooled at the bottom instead. And everybody got really mad at him because it smelled like piss. And he just like sat in there. All the like adult leaders like either they didn't want to confront him, or like they did, and then they realized it wouldn't work, so
They were
they just
hoping he
left
wouldn't
him.
come out.
He like wouldn't come out. They're like, oh, what? William, ever come out of there? He's just
Yeah. Good old William.
yeah.
He ate one of his pubes at school.
That occurred, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Where is he now? Is he alive? Or...
He's in
I-
Oregon.
I just saw him once.
I saw him in a dream, but that's about it.
I went to,
I mean, like,
but he went to Zach's house and hung out with him for like a day. And
wait,
like,
that's
hey,
Zach?
You're right.
Son of Zach?
No.
Like, what?
Galifianakis.
What the?
Galifianakis.
But yeah.
He used to date Madison Corey.
Yep.
Anyway, back to the second year of Fire Mountain. What Thomas says when he says
Oh.
like when I was picking on you, it's because him and Brendan and Logan all like figured out that I used to pronounce milk as milk.
Oh yeah.
And they just tore me fucking apart for that. Like I said, like, oh yeah, some milk,
And you
and
said
like
pillow.
milk.
Pillow.
What the fuck's milk? And I'm like, milk
You
or
said-
milk or
And you said pillow
what?
too.
And then, yeah, I used to call it instead of a pillow, we called it a pillow.
Yeah.
Do you still do
That
that?
was like the
No.
first time we roasted somebody.
Yeah,
And
and
just,
they
we just got carried away.
they fucking tore me apart, and like they wouldn't leave me alone about it. And like I'm like, okay, fine, fuck you, milk or whatever. I don't know. It's just different ways to pronounce it. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, milk. What?
And then you call us perfectionists.
Yeah, I called you a perfectionist. And then like they follow, and then Thomas and I think Logan started
Tim.
following me around,
Or was it?
and they're like milk, milk, milk. And I'm like, stop it.
And then you got mad and started like.
And then yeah, like
you
I
had
started,
Terminator
I started like
sunglasses.
running away, and they kept following me. So I turned around, and started throwing rocks at them,
Yeah.
and then they still like kept it up. And then like the a leaders talked to us all, and they're like, yeah, Dublin, you can't throw rocks at people.
And you
Like,
can't say no.
they weren't leaving me. They can't say milk.
He can't say no.
They're
You
like,
gotta say it right.
That's what the adult lady said. They're like, why are you throwing rocks? I'm like, they're making fun of me. They're like, why? I'm like, because I say milk. And they're like, milk? Are you a fucking idiot? And I'm like, whoa, what? Julia, I think you squeal milk. But yeah, that's what happened that year.
Well, yeah. There's just that one guy who was really relaxed. Who was friends with Ed, right?
He was really
He didn't
black.
really know much about Boy Scout stuff, but there's
First
that
year
one guy
or-
for like the first year, for like the first
That
3
guy
or 4
was not
days.
relaxed at all. What?
Oh, relax.
3 or
He
4
said
days.
black.
Yeah, no, he just said go off and do whatever you want.
Oh yeah, there was that one guy.
Wait.
And then it was the guy who tore people's tents
Oh,
down.
you're talking
Yeah.
about
And
Fire
then
Mountain
he
for
said
that
he-
old
he said he
Josh's
took people into,
dad-looking
into the
guy.
river in their sleeping bags. that
Your
they didn't
grandpa
get
looking guy.
up.
He looked
Yeah.
like
Like the
Donovan's
Clay?
grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clay?
It was Donovan's grandpa practically. Yeah, I remember.
Practically.
I remember Fire Mountain. I remember I was sleeping, and then in the morning he's like, "Wake up, everybody!" And then Keith. This was like the first year. Keith and some other guy, Jacob Ainley, I think, was in a tent across from me. He's like, "Wake
Yeah,
up!"
it
I
was-
said. Remember? And he's like, "Hey, if you don't come out, I'm gonna tear down your tent and drag you out into the creek." In the creek.
He got
I think
halfway
he's-
there.
No, yeah, and he's like, "That's it, I'm turned down." And little did he know, Keith was already up and like naked,
Yeah.
getting drunk, tore it off, and then Keith was like butt naked, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then remember Rick, he used to snore like a bear. He'd like,
I don't know.
remember that echoing?
Yeah, he was
That's pretty
low.
lame.
I remember the first. I don't know why I just remember this, but like, I remember the dessert from the first year. The first day we were at Fire Mountain, they're like, let's make a dessert, and so we basically made basically like pocket pussies out of like bread, and then filled them with honey. Remember? Like we got the dough, and like you would like form it around your finger or something, and then we put it like over the fire in like a Dutch
Sopapillas.
oven,
So
and then you like put honey in it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just
That
remember
was good. That was good. Was that the year that?
That was first year.
Yeah, it was the first year of the year that we were camping next to the Leigh Stevens troop, and
Yeah.
Chrysalis was there.
Yeah.
And then he was like,
Oh,
"You guys
yeah,
stay in this tent. There's something scary going on
Talk
outside."
about
And
you
be
should
like,
talk about that.
I don't even remember. That's
Okay,
fine.
yeah, talk about Brian. I
Okay.
remember.
So like we were like the Lake Stevens like troop that was with us. They were like kind of hard asses, and like this one night like the adult leader started freaking out because like there were these 2 kids that were gone, like they didn't come back from like fishing or whatever, and we and they were like freaking out, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta go find them. Like, don't leave your tent. If you leave your tent, we gotta send you home. We're fucking like emergency mode, dude. Like, lock everything down."
Mm-hmm.
And then like a while later, like they just like came back into camp, and it was-
Casual.
yeah, just casually, and people were like, "What happened, dude?" And then like they would be like, like each one of them would say the other one just wouldn't stop fishing, and they needed to stay together because buddy system, and it was like super weird. And then like
Oh, so
fast
like
forward like
some low key
like 5 years later, we find out that Chrysalis is gay, and that's another funny story how I found out that he was gay. But anyway,
McDonald's.
so it's just like, you know, like, man, 2 kids like going fishing for hours at night, like, whoa. What's going on there?
But, also, like I remember the time, like it was right when the Barefoot Bandit was still out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're
And
saying,
so we
I
were
think
like,
I
"Oh,
saw the
there's
Barefoot
more,
Bandit."
dude.
Yeah, it was Cold. We were like, oh, Cold Harris Moore's in the woods. Oh fuck! And like we're like in the tent, like we like saw like a rabbit, and we're like, is that Cold Harris
Yeah,
Moore? And we
yeah.
put a flashlight on it. We were like freaked out for some reason that he was going to be out there. Turns out it wasn't him. It was just a rabbit.
Mhm.
But
That was the year we all spent like $60 on junk food too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the trading post.
It's
Hey,
like
you
a
want to go
lot
back to
of
the trading post
Trading
again for the fourth
post,
time today? Yeah, sure.
Well, it was
They
like
did have good prices on certain
Ed
things.
told us like not to sign
Yeah.
up for that much stuff,
Yeah,
so that we could have more like fun time. But it was like if you didn't sign up for anything, like there was nothing to do
Yep.
except wander around the camp.
yeah, like you sign up for merit badges, and basically the camp system is you sign up for merit badges, and it's like basically like a college class. Like
Mhm.
you just go for these classes. I think 4 days typically,
Yeah, and
sometimes
then
5.
Friday's a makeup day,
Yeah, so you go like 4 days.
and there's 6 1-hour sessions, but we only took 2.
Yeah, most people do 3.
I did 4 at one
It was-
point.
I think it was it's like 4, and then we did.
I think I never did. I think 4. I think I've only ever done 3.
Yeah, that's the first time my dad's been this accepting.
What did
Yeah.
you say?
He
He
said
said,
I.
I said I'm gonna be able to Logan, so I'll be back then. Never.
Okay, but yeah, that's
Gal?
basically the system. You just sign up for merit badges, and so most people do like 3 to 4 apparently. But we only signed up for 2 because our
Mhm.
scoutmaster the first year said we.
You gotta save time to have fun.
Which
Yeah.
meant that we were just it's basically the equivalent of being out of school when all your friends are in school.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
no other scouts were outside. It was just us, and the
That
only thing
is
open
Yeah,
is the
so we
trading
just
post.
wandered around singing California Girls and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, because I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, the song just
Just
came out.
exploring.
California.
Oh yeah, remember that hot tub we made in the creek? We like got a bunch of
I found a
ferns
beer
and
can from
said
the
this
80s.
is gonna filter the water, so we like made a big dam of ferns and
What?
remember that.
We
We
were
got some
Yeah.
stupid.
I remember there was a creek you could jump over, and I was like,
Yeah.
we were for.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was down the. We got some ferns and
Keith
some
caught
twigs.
crawdads too.
Common
Yeah,
one,
Keith
yeah.
like
Catch crawdads.
No, but I remember there's like this fat kid that was putting together the hot tub, and he like peed in it to make it warm
Oh
or
yeah.
something.
I remember Adam.
And then
dude.
we're like, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know if I want to get in it now. He's like, no, the ferns are there.
Don't worry, there's ferns. It's filtered.
It's gonna filter it out.
So stupid.
God damn it. It is really funny.
Yeah.
I remember the first year I took astronomy, and it was really terrible.
Oh yeah, I remember I stayed with you one of those nights, and it was boring. You're just
Like,
looking at the stars.
normally there's a curfew of 9 o'clock. You have to be in your tent at 9 o'clock, and you, like, lights out quiet by 11 or something, or
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
It was really strict. It really sucked. But like astronomy, like they're like, oh yeah, one day we're gonna watch stars, and you get me up to 11. I'm like, dude, I get me up to 11. That's gonna be awesome, dude.
Crazy.
Late night out.
I thought it was all night, up to 2 o'clock in the morning.
It might have been actually.
Maybe
I think I
one of
went to
them,
bed at
Yeah, just
like,
one certain night.
Yeah, but I went to it. I think Thomas went with me.
Yeah, I just like stayed. I saw a nerd like next to us. No, he just had like. a
But
nerd.
basically, all we were doing is like laying down on this field, and like the stars are out, and then one guy has a telescope that he's like desperately trying to set up, but he doesn't know how to do it correctly. And so we're just
Your
sitting.
instructor?
I think so.
Black
So
one,
we're just like
actually.
we're just sitting there like on the ground, and it's like boring as hell, and like eventually me and Thomas just leave at like 11 or something, and like don't want to stick it out because it's really
Sucks.
boring and quiet and tired. And I never got the merit badge because you have to like you had to watch stars like once a month for 12 months, so you couldn't even complete it in camp. So I don't know why they offered
They didn't
it.
tell you about that though.
They
right?
didn't. I didn't know that
Yeah.
until the end of the week when I didn't get the merit badge.
The best was wilderness survival. That's pretty epic.
Yeah, I did it by myself the first year.
Yeah, wilderness survival is
So
supposed to be like the more hardcore of the merit badges typically, where you have to. One of the requirements is you have to spend a night out in the woods with only what you can carry on you, no
Mhm.
backpack.
No, not even that. It was more strict, like emergency blanket. and-
No, it's just wherever you can have on you, like in your pockets.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah,
carry
so
a
I took
backpack.
an emergency blanket, and I was like, I had this sort of nice shelter. It was like basically just logs stacked
Mhm.
on top of each other. So I'm like, I think I'm good. I don't think I'm gonna need this emergency blanket. So I rolled it up and just put it right outside my tent. And then at midnight, I got up and I'm like, dude, it's freezing. Where's that emergency blanket? And I get out, and it got stolen by somebody.
Jeez.
So I just went back in the shelter for like 5 more hours, and I wake up and I'm like, dude, where is everybody? So I wait around and walk around for like half an hour and don't see anybody. I walk back to camp and found out we're supposed to go back to camp at like midnight because that counted as one night. So I was like
What?
laying
You're
out
the
there
only
in
one
the
out there?
freezing cold for like
What the-
5 hours just shivering.
I thought
Basically,
I was
it's
old,
basically it's the equivalent of a
11
Boy
years
Scout
old.
Hunger Games. Like you see a bunch
Sort
of
of.
boys just running
We
around
don't kill
outside.
each other though.
They're running around outside trying to find the best shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Remember, like,
yeah, me and Thomas did wilderness survival the next year, and it was hilarious. Like,
no one
'cause-
followed the rules. Everyone built
Remember-
fires.
Yeah,
Remember Corbin's shelter?
what happened
Yeah.
is me and Thomas were walking around just like talking and having fun while everybody else was building their shelters and watching them. And there's like this like crater basically, like this.
Yeah.
It was like like woods or like kind of open with like ferns and like sticker bushes and stuff. But like this one area was just clay or dirt and like an indent in the ground. And there was like a wall, and like some guy was digging like a tunnel into the wall that he was gonna sleep in. That looked like it was gonna be a grave. To be honest, it looked like he was gonna collapse on himself. And then somebody else who was in our troop named Corbin was there, and all he did was he went to the wall, which was just like a concave like little thing, and he put a stick up against it and laid an emergency blanket over the top of it, and that's all it was. And it was pathetic.
All done.
And then like me and Thomas like walked around, and we like kind of walked away from everybody else, and like I found like this one little area where it was like an indent in the ground, like that was only like 4 feet big probably, with like 2 sticks on top of it. They laid my emergency blanket over, and then Thomas, it was like almost dark in like 20 minutes, and Thomas like he came over to me, he's like, Donovan, I still haven't built my shelter. Can you help me build it? And I'm like,
You guys
And
have
you
fire.
gave me a suggestion of the thorn bushes, and I built it, and my head was in the thorns all the time. Like, fuck this. So I
Did you guys have a fire though?
yeah, no.
somebody else did.
The rules.
Yeah.
No, there was like 3 fires at one point.
Yeah, me and Thomas were walking around, like went to the first fire and like, sorry, this is a VIP fire only. Like this is like 3 in the morning. You're not allowed to have fires, but
Yeah.
like at 3 in the morning we get up and they're like, oh, this is VIP fire. You can't be here, and like burning plastic in it or something. I'm like, okay. So we walk over to some other fire. Like there's like a main
And
fire
there's,
where there's like 10 people, and there's another one that has like 1. And we go to the 10-person one, and all it is one guy describing this video he watched on YouTube once. That's an hour-long video. And he spent, or no, it's like a 15-minute video. He spent an hour describing, like he went verbatim through the entire thing. And he's like, yeah, it's this guy that kind of sounds like an angry Steve Carell, like I don't know, like Russian kind
You
of.
can't you
or
can't
Polish.
describe videos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I looked up the video, like when I got back, and it's if you want to look it up on YouTube, one listener
You actually remember?
out there, yeah, it's
Oh.
it's the original Mario 2 that was released in Japan, the really hard Mario, and it's just a guy, I can't forget what the name of the video is, but it's just him like raging at this like impossible Mario game, and he talked about how funny it was for an hour, and we all just listened to him because we had nothing better to do.
It's too bad he didn't talk about the Nintendo shit cube.
Yeah. So that was basically wilderness survival. Build
Yeah.
a shelter, watch other people suffer, and then sit
Yep.
on a fire.
Yep.
But we didn't get to go back at midnight. We had to stay there until the morning.
For
The
me, it
worst
was
part-
build a shelter and suffer.
No, the worst part was, like, in the morning, after that, you walk back to your camp, like, ready to pass out from not getting any sleep the night before, and you gotta go carry out your regular
Yeah,
day.
and then you have to go to the rest of your merit badges.
But it was a Thursday, and then that Friday was, like, there was no classes, so it wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't autistic like the other days. Remember, who wants to skip? Let's skip to Camp Parsons 2013 with Thomas from the oceanography bads and the
That was
World.
fun.
Remember, who did he get pissed at? One of you said something that pissed him off.
Oh, yeah, I was like, I don't know, something came up where everybody
Citizenship
started.
of the world, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
everybody started making Obama jokes.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like, I'll pitch in, and I'm like, Obama's a Muslim. And it was just like, everyone got really quiet. And then, like, the guy, like, knew it was me, but he didn't want to, like, out me. And he's like, whoever said that, I don't respect you because, like, my grandfather's a Muslim. And it's just, like, quiet. And everybody just, like, stares at me. I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, man.
Oh, speaking of Camp Parsons, our guide was Thurston. And
Oh,
like
yeah.
we
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
he was like the most mundane and like lamest guy out there. He
Yeah.
was so
He hated his job.
he did not want to be there. So I decided to idolize him. And like
Yeah.
we're like,
That's a good
all
Yeah,
hail
with Thurston. It was one of the
Thurston.
first memes.
He was
Yeah.
the cooking merit badge guy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
luckily, like I forgot which one of us. I think we all signed up for it. Was the
Yeah.
cookie merit badge with Thurston?
Yeah.
There were
Spaghetti,
requirements
I
where
remember.
we were supposed to all cook something. So all he did was he prepared it, and he was like, "Everybody get in a line, and you're all just gonna give it one stir." So
Yeah, spaghetti sauce.
we did it.
I remember
Yeah, like
hearing
there was
that.
like one where it was like cake in a cup because it was like too liquidy. He just
Yeah.
poured it in cups and we like drank it.
Yeah.
You were cooking
And
it.
like another was like spaghetti, but like something was wrong with the sauce or something.
Yeah.
Like he didn't make enough sauce, or there
Yeah.
just wasn't sauce at all. Or we just ate the noodles or something.
Yeah. the egg noodles.
And he just did not care at all. Like
Yeah.
he hated his job. And like he would. It was really funny when we would go to the assemblies of all the troops. Like we would like go there saying like we all hail Thurston, and all the other like he'd be really embarrassed by it. Like, all the other tour guides or scout guides, would be there with their troops.
Yep.
And then like we're the annoying ass troop. It's
Yeah.
like
we marched up in unison, just like screaming, "All hail Thurston!" And then like they did like a roll call where you had to say like someone had to go up and say like, "Oh, our troop, all here," and then like we like went up and we were like, "All hail Thurston," and then we all like got on our knees and bowed.
We all turned around and bowed down to Thurston, and he was so embarrassed. I'm like, that was so funny. We're probably the funniest troop.
Who was the other guy we harassed? Boyd.
Boyd.
Remember that?
Boyd.
Oh yeah.
In the.
What was that the
golf
next
cart?
year?
I don't know.
I
No,
think
he
that
was just fat. I
Spider-Man.
remember. His name sounds. No, I just know.
He was fat. Yeah.
His name sounds fat. Like
He was fat. Yeah.
Boyd just sounds like a fat guy's name. I remember that was the
I
same.
see.
Remember the Donovan his foot his soccer game.
Oh yeah. So yeah, at the end of that camp, like Saturday, like Sunday, we leave Sunday in the morning, and so it was Saturday, and all the things are done, merit badges are done, fun days are done. It's just like whatever. Last final supper, eat dinner, go outside. There's a big old soccer game going on.
A big old soccer.
And so we're like, oh shit, let's go play soccer. Like a huge field, like a bunch of boys are playing it. I go out there, I'm running around. I used to play soccer, was okay. I scored a goal somehow, and to celebrate, I jump into the air, and like the field's all grass. And I jump in the air, I'm like, yeah. And I come back down and land on like the one fucking rock in the entire field on the side of my foot, and like I roll my ankle and like fall over. And I'm like, oh god, that really hurt. And I get up, I'm like, oh my god, it really hurt. And I like walk to the sidelines and I tell somebody in our troop that like I hurt my foot. And I start like limping over to the nurse's office, which is like 3,000 feet away or something. And then like, as I'm hobbling there, like some couple stops like, oh, would you like some help? I'm like, oh no, I feel like I'm okay. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, can you help me? And I get there and they're like, yeah, your foot's like broken probably. Like, we'll call your parents.
Broken?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And they're like, we'll call your parents. And like, Camp Parsons is on the peninsula of Washington, and we live in Snohomish County, so it's like a 4-hour drive.
I don't think a bunch of people are going to be listening to this. I don't think we have to specify where everything is.
Okay.
If they want to follow, if they want to follow the lore, they'll look up the locations and follow the lore. But anyway, so it's gonna be a 4-hour drive for my parents. It's like 6 o'clock there, or something. So my parents are gonna, or it's like 5 o'clock. So they're gonna have to drive 4 hours and then drive back 4 hours to come pick me up.
And that was like the
day before.
The day before, like we left like the morning after that.
Yeah, but so I'm just sitting in the infirmary or whatever, and they gave me some like Advil or no ibuprofen. And my foot's really hurting, like really badly, because they just broke it and they're not doing anything about it because they can't, because they're just nurses in Boy Scout camp. What can they do to help a broken foot?
I remember.
But hold on. So I'm just sitting there and I fell asleep and I woke up and all my friends, all the scouts came and like, hey Dom, we came to visit you. And like some of them gave me like, I got like 2 Snickers bars or something. Yeah. Some other candy. Like, thanks guys. And they're like, okay, we're gonna leave now. I'm like, I really just like you guys to stay. Like, I don't really care about the candy. I just want you guys to be here. I'm fucking bored. And they're like, yeah, sorry about that. See ya. And
we stayed for like a good 30 minutes.
Where was that at? The nurse's office?
Yeah. I feel like I was only there for like 5 minutes. Maybe I was sleep wasted or something. Like this, my perception was distorted. But yeah.
Please stay.
And then my parents came and got me, and I left. But
and you had a good time from there.
Sad story.
I remember Mason was so pissed when I killed the starfish.
I told Landon about that like a week ago probably.
What?
Or I told Landon that 2 days ago. Landon got saw a starfish at Uncle Tio. And then I said Thomas killed a starfish once.
You were really mad about that.
Yeah, I was.
You were?
Yeah, it was.
I thought Mason was mad.
Mason was too.
Dude, no, Mason was the one who freaked out.
Anyway, yeah, Thomas, you can go ahead and talk about that really fast.
The starfish?
Yeah.
Oh, I just remember it was by the ocean, and then there was like a
this is also at Camp Parsons.
Yeah. Yep. It was like a hook canal, and there was like a sewage pipe that was raised, and you could see like in the water, and there was starfish floating around, and I dipped my hand like, And then there was like
Yum.
and then Mason and Donovan were like,
Mason's my little brother.
Yeah, Mason's his little chub brother. But what happened Did I pick it up and chuck it? Or
No,
did
you
I
threw a rock at it.
Oh,
You threw a rock and cut its
You
leg
quashed
off.
it.
I'm like, hey, isn't it true starfish regenerate? So let's test that theory. They're like,
Look, it's regenerated. Don't worry, Mason. It's
No,
regenerated.
No, you smashed the entire starfish. Though. Like it was all crumpled up, and you're like, Mason. My brother, like, first I'll go
I
back
think
a little
he was
bit.
crying.
My brother was like,
Yeah,
look,
he
a
was
starfish, and Tom's like, I want to kill it. And then Mason's like, no, don't kill it. And Tom's like, I want to smash. And Mason's like,
Trying to smash.
and Mason's like, I don't
care
hurt
about
my
that.
starfish. And it's like, haha, they regenerate, don't worry. And he just like picks up a big fucking rock and just smashes the entire starfish and like it obliterates. And he's like, Mason's like,
he's like, I just remember so distinctly. He's like, you killed a starfish. I just remember that.
And then
he
Thomas is
told
like,
on me.
Thomas is like, don't worry that it'll regenerate. I'm like, Thomas, there's nothing left to regenerate. It's not coming back. And Thomas is like, don't worry, it will regenerate. I'm like, Thomas, it won't regenerate. And he's just like, oh. He starts laughing even harder.
You're horrible.
I told Landon about that, and Landon was like, really? I'm like, yeah, I was really concerned at the time.
I don't know. I was letting my frustrations from my dad out.
I get,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
probably.
Like, just look at that video he sent me. What do you think I go through?
Oh, yeah, Thomas sent us a
crazy
video of his dad, like, basically fucking his dog.
Shut up, Tony.
Okay, Thomas.
Now we can't post
Tell
this.
us the story of your photography skills at Camp Parsons.
Yeah, so I took the cinematography merit badge, cinematography merit badge, and I was with Donovan and Tim as partners, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, you guys were in it too, but you guys were like a competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, so who can make the best video, and our
I think
video
we're
was like
thinking
a
of two
worm.
different stories.
Huh?
I think we're thinking of two different stories.
Yeah, we are, but
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Finish the cinematography one, though. Finish the cinematography one. Though.
Photos. So you're like, so Tim, our plot was gonna be about a worm,
Like a scary movie, yeah.
Yeah, like a scary movie, like the scary worm. I forgot the name.
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
So somebody
Dude,
got
we
like
should
a
get that
sleeping
footage
bag and
back.
pretended to be a worm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we were looking in a sleeping bag and stuff.
Yeah, and it was like dress. I just remember, and all I remember is me kept getting in the shot and like stripping, kind of like what you'd.
Did
kinda
you
like when I
pants
got
somebody?
punched. No, I
your
pants
friend?
myself. I would walk in with my pants. No, I would have my pants already undone, and I would walk in, and then like a light thump, and it caused my pants to like, oops.
I remember that Thomas would like waddle in and like make his pants fall. I'm like, oopsies.
Like, oh, I guess we're gonna have to redo that. I was a real dick when it came to video shooting.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
I
were.
wouldn't let no one. No, don't say R. That's.
Oh, you're right. Never mind. Maybe
That's-
not anymore.
Say it were.
You're right. You were in that funny video that Sage posted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uncle Tom's Cabin and also War Stories.
Look
Oh,
up Sage Strecker on YouTube. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, Thomas
Nice
is in
plug.
one of the videos. It's very funny. But anyway,
War story.
that reminds me. Like we were recording that on some guys
Jose.
on Jose's camera.
Santi Esteban.
You don't have to say his last name. You probably shouldn't say his last name.
You might track us down.
He's an illegal immigrant.
Oh my god.
He shot a man in Cuba. Someone broke into his
We'll
house.
get to these stories. Hold on.
All right.
I'm trying to get a segue into it. Okay, so I had this camera, and I'm recording these stuff, and then after we're done, I'm like, just standing around. I'm like, oh look at this USB port. Like if you just touch it with your finger, like it snaps open.
Yeah.
And then you close it and it snap, and then you press it and it snaps open again. It's like really easy. So I'm like, oh look how easy this is to snap open and shut it. And he sees me and his eyes just like looks
Like
at me.
my dad.
He like runs over and he's like, what the hell are you doing with that thing? And he grabs it from my hand and I'm like, what? He's like, you trying to break my camera? I let you use my camera. You're trying to break it? I'm like, no, it's supposed to open that. He's like, okay, I can't trust you with this obviously. I'm like, no, it's supposed to. It's a USB port. It opens and closes. And then he like ignored me because I don't know why. He's angry. And then he like walks away. And I'm like, okay, well, and then like I'm like, well, fuck. And like an hour later, I'm like, yeah, we need that to turn in for the merit badge. We need to show him the footage. And he's like, okay, but I'll let Tim use it because I actually trust him with it. But you can't touch it. Tim can use it to record, but you can't touch it.
I remember that.
And I'm like, well, that's really inconvenient. But I mean, so we turned in the footage like half done basically. And we got the merit badge because they don't give a shit. But
Yeah.
anyway, that leads to Mr. Jose, and like, I'll also say that at Camp Parsons there was termites everywhere flying around,
Mosquitoes.
and we would like swat them and kill them and stuff. And Jose would get mad. He's like, if you're gonna kill something, you have to eat it. You can't just kill it. Like, you have to eat it. We're like, but they're annoying. They're just flying around in our face. Like the lights would just be covered in like I'm not even joking, like actually covered in termites. Like it'd be
Really?
yeah, remember?
Yeah.
Like it was terrible. There's termites everywhere.
What is a termite again? Like the one on the that come out of the wood?
Yeah.
Yep.
And like so we'd like kill them and stuff, and he'd get mad at us. And like we saw him kill a mosquito, and we're like, oh, about that, huh? He's like, it's already trying to eat me. I'm fighting back or something. And we're like, what? But then talk about the dinner, because I wasn't actually there when he said the pin at dinner.
So, I don't know like how it came up, but he was like, he started telling the story about how I think he was in Cuba.
Yep.
He might have been in Florida. I don't know, but
It was Cuba.
Oh, that.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
So he like in the night he like someone broke into his house and tried to steal his laptop. Probably some like dirt poor like teenage kid who like needed to feed his family or something.
I never thought about it like that.
Stop
Yeah.
trying to make it human. He tried to steal
You're right.
personal property.
He's an animal.
He violated the NAP.
Anyway.
Blow him up.
So he so the
Oh,
guy
that's
grabs
one
Jose's computer.
He was also probably Cuban,
And
so he
tries
was
to-
an animal. What? Sorry, what?
The guy breaks into Jose's house, grabs his computer, and tries to run away. So Jose goes out the front door, shoots him in the leg, and because in Cuba you can legally kill someone if they're inside your house. He drags him
Yeah.
back into his house and shoots him in the head.
That's what he said.
Yeah, and he's telling us the story all casually, and then we're like, oh my god, like that. Us like 13, 14-year-old kids are like, oh my god, that's terrible. Like you killed the man, and he's like, well, that fucker was trying to steal my laptop.
And then it begs the question, like, did he eat him afterwards,
Yeah.
or?
And then the most disturbing part is like he was talking about he's like, oh yeah, his bitchy ass mom in court was like, oh, he killed my baby. That baby was trying to steal my laptop. That's no baby.
Do you
So
remember?
insane.
Did he ever tell you guys what brought up the story about the watermelons? Then.
The watermelon.
Yeah, he said one time he was really desperate for money and food, so he tried to go to a watermelon stand or fruit stand and steal watermelons. And as he was running away, the guy who owned the stand shot him in the leg or something, and he got arrested in Cuba. You don't remember that?
No.
That's funny.
Yeah, he got shot. Remember that?
How
now?
ironic that he stole something and got shot, and then he killed somebody for stealing something.
Yeah. Watermelon. He must have had a good reason. That's Jose we're talking about.
Yeah, but one thing I remember, I don't even know who I heard this from, but it's associated with him, is that like apparently he claimed that like when he came to Cuba, he was like on some boat, and there was two boats, and one of them got blown up in the water,
Yeah.
and he was on the one boat that survived.
Was
Like,
this Battlefield?
there was
One?
two boats
Fucking
going.
pirates or something.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
said
know.
like two boats were in the water going from Cuba to the United States, and like one got like destroyed somehow, and so he like barely survived.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was talking about that.
The funny thing though, he's like he left Cuba when he was like what, like 4 or 10, one or the other, I can't remember.
I don't know.
And like he hasn't been back except for like in the past like 2 years. So like when he talked about Camp Parsons, he hadn't even been to Cuba by the time they had laptops. Like he wasn't there when they had laptops.
Why would he
it
shoot
was
someone who was 4
he was
years?
probably in Florida.
Okay.
Or, well, in the U.S. or
I
something.
mean,
No,
Florida
because
does.
he just Florida the court system. You said Cuba was the reason he got off because it was the court system.
It could have... Well, because in the U.S., too, there's in certain states you can...
Florida's a stand your ground. That's where George Zimmerman became a hero.
Became a hero. That guy sold his gun on eBay for
He actually sold it.
$5,000.
I know he was trying to.
Oh, my God.
He
It's
sold.
a piece of history.
That's what he marked it at. Fuck.
Marketed.
Yes. I feel like it would
No, he actually tried
get
to sell
more
it.
than 5,000.
No, he sold. I think he was trying to sell it for like a couple $100,000. I thought.
I could see that.
One brave hero tries to stop it, and everyone loses their mind.
I wonder how much the gun that killed JFK would go for.
Probably a lot, but it's probably never going to be sold because it's like, you know.
What if they use it on another president?
What they use it on another president?
They can like continue the legacy.
Thomas, you should be a little bit louder. You kind of
Bring Lee Harvey back.
God, yeah. Harvey.
Okay.
Jack Ruby was the shit. He was the actual real hero.
Jack Ruby.
Yeah. Wait, who shot Jack Ruby then?
Nobody. He died in jail like 2 years later
Oh.
of cancer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Tom, it's time for your story about your
Oh yeah,
The camera store.
your model photography shoot.
Well. Oh. Okay. So like there was on a cold summer evening. on a cold summer evening in August, I was at Camp Parsons, the Hood Canal, 2013. I was preparing to, what was I doing? Oh, I was in my tent preparing to go to dinner, and everyone else was like, so my cabin was about 50 feet from the other cabin, and ours only had like a third of everyone else's, and I was really jealous because everyone had like the party clan down there. But Tim was in like mine, and Tim just like 4 hours before that threw my shoes on the roof, and I was really pissed about that. So I took out my camera and I'm like, yo, I took out my camera and with impulse decision I'm like, hey Tim, when he was changing, he was like naked. I'm like, hey Tim, turn around, and then I like pretended. Is this incriminating?
Probably.
Nobody's
Okay,
gonna. You can say it.
Donovan's like,
I don't know.
you might
We
lawyer
didn't
on
cut it out anyway.
Thomas pretended to take a picture.
Yeah, I pretended to take a picture, and
Air quotes.
yeah, and then like he thought, of course, he would think I took it for real because he thinks I'm that like low, which I'm not. But and what are you laughing?
I'm not. Wink.
I didn't wink.
I didn't.
And anyway, so after that, I'm like, okay. I put the camera away and like I thought it would end from there. And then later, I'm ready to eat. I remember that day we were having watermelon and corn dogs.
What a nice memory, Thomas.
No, because I remember I was so nervous. I had a plate of corn dogs in my hand. I'm like, I was so nervous I was getting in trouble. And I'm like, I couldn't eat the corn dogs. I'm like,
Is that a tragedy to you, Thomas?
yeah. I was looking so forward. I saw the menu for the week. I'm like,
eat my corn dog.
Oh, Wink. I was waiting for the corn dog.
no, I'm serious.
Tim
Thomas, that was-
snitched
No.
right before I
That
got
was
out
probably
my
your favorite
corn
decision.
dog.
Like the one you decided to do that
Like
the one night
Patrick
the corn dogs are.
Starbucks.
That was your biggest flaw in your
No,
life,
like
Thomas.
no. So I thought I was off the hook. I walked down. Tim had like a 5-minute head start. I'm in line. I have my camera bag with me, which I don't know why I had it. And the picture, there was no picture on there anyway. And then all of a sudden, I see David and Jose. They're like, and then they see me like, or the ears go, and then, like they start like fast speed walking towards me. I'm like, oh shit. I just like stay in line casually. I'm like. And then he shows up, he's like, hey, what's this about Tim? You hear me like, took a picture? He's like, what? He's like, let me see that camera. Give me that camera. I'm like, what? I'm like, and then I was starting to walk away. He's like, come back here now. He's like yelling at me. I'm like, oh shit. So I gave him the camera and he's like, let's see what you got in here. And he takes it out and he starts going through it. He's like, you're in big trouble. And he's like, where are they? He's like, where's the picture? And I'm like, there was none. I was pretending. He's like, you lying to me? And I'm like, no. And Jose was like a fucking good cop, bad cop. He was like, Dave was
bipolar.
Yeah, Dave. No, like
He was both a good cop and a bad cop.
he's like,
Okay, stop. No, you stop.
He's like, at least you didn't kill anything. But you know what? You could have killed something and ate it. Either way, you know, you do you.
you did it in
killed-
self-defense.
You killed Tim's humility. Now you have to eat it.
So anyway, he was like, all right, and I'm like, there's no pictures, but still, the big boy, the supervisor of the entire camp came down, and he talked to me. He's like, yo, so I hear you did something pretty like incriminating or some shit. He's like, yeah, you could actually get kicked out of Scouts for what you did. I'm like, I didn't take a picture, and he's like, even though you did, he's like, even if you didn't. Just pretend this getting someone's heart pumping like that, making them
Getting
believe,
his heart pumping.
You're getting too excited, Thomas.
making him believe that, making him like doing all the acts that follow through, like taking.
Yeah,
a
the
picture.
Boy Scout leader actually said to Thomas, he said, next time you do it, don't delete the pictures because I want some evidence for myself. You remember,
Hey, who says
remember
I
it's
ever-
too deep leadership.
Wait, who says I ever took the picture?
Oh, you're right. No, that's why he said next time.
Oh,
say-
okay, yeah. Make sure you take it and don't delete. Because I never took that. No, and
What?
hey, what is that? Is that fruit punch, nigga?
Yeah.
Logan's drinking some lean right now.
I have a feeling he sneezed in it, but.
Logan
No.
sneezed in his lean, he's still drinking it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, following with that Tim thing, me and Eric wanted to get him back, because he was being a dick to both of us. So before that, I did that
Was that a
camera
person?
stunt. Huh?
Was that a person?
Yeah, before I did that camera stunt, like a day before, we wanted to do something to his mouthwash, which we did. At first, Eric's idea was coming, and then
Oh yeah.
and then mine was pissing it, and we couldn't debate. Like, how about Vienna sausage juice? Because I had a can.
I'm glad
Much
you settled
more
on
mild.
the Vienna sausage juice.
I know it was very.
That's like
How about we come?
something
How
in
about
between those.
Vienna sausage?
Vienna sausage.
How about neither? Whoa, what a good surprise.
And I drained it into the thing. I shook it out, and the next morning I hear him drinking, and I like, look, and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" And then he told his dad, and his dad's like, "Ooh, this is you putting Vienna sausage juice in people's drink or mouthwash?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Good thing you didn't.
I'm really glad I didn't put piss in it. That'd
Yeah.
been terrible.
I'm glad that Eric didn't ejaculate into it.
Or both.
I know Eric was more pubercally. Well, no, he was younger. Never mind.
More
Yeah, he's
pubic.
a year younger than us.
Yeah, never mind. He just looks taller. That's why. So yeah, I
He is
guess.
taller.
Yeah,
That's why he looks taller.
yeah. That's why he is taller. So like, I think that was it with Tim, right?
There's probably a
Well,
million
there's-
and one Tim stories.
Well, to add on
Oh
to
wait,
that,
not
Plenty of Tim Tales.
Camp Careless.
wait,
We'll get to Camp Carol's in a
I
while.
was like, to add on to that story is, like, before we like drove home,
Oh, sorry, that's the pressure cooker you're going on.
Pressure cook?
Jose decided that he would assign people like
Oh.
what cars to go.
We've already
in.
talked about this.
No. Yeah, but no.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah, you did in the 7th one.
Whoa. Okay.
We said awkward Boy Scout stories, and you said that you were in the car with.
Wait.
Okay,
Is
yeah.
this when you're
Or
talking
you can
about?
repeat it, because...
Yeah. This it's
I mean,
Boy
it's-
Scout tradition.
I guess it was.
Just
in-
do it brief.
Yeah,
No,
so we
your
have a
podcast-
summary of like all the Boy
Me and
Scouts.
Logan. I think I know where you're going. Is it? We'll just say it.
Yeah. So like, Jose decided to assign people like what cars they would ride home in because he couldn't handle not having control of us for like the ride home.
True.
So
That's what made it.
That's so
I'm
fucking
just like-
true.
I was just like, I don't know. I was friends with like everybody in the troop. I was like, I just hope it's not like something weird like riding home with Tim and Thomas after that. Fucking Jose puts me in a car
You're right in the middle.
with Tim, Thomas, and Tim's dad.
Yeah, like literally the worst configuration
Yeah.
possible.
Wait, who else
And
was
it-
who's in the front right seat then?
Tim.
Tim. It was me and you in the back and Tim. in
Oh
front.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was a fifth person. Never mind.
And so we're like,
It's the most
It's-
awkward.
and so like Brian feels that he needs to address the situation on the ride home, and because he wasn't at camp, but he
I heard of
he
him.
heard about it, and so he's just like he starts saying stuff like, so I heard there was some trouble that got stirred up. Anyone know what that might be? And Tim and Thomas are just completely silent. So I just had to break the tension, and I'm like,
Sexual.
yeah, sexual tension.
I think I said that in the 7th one as well.
Yeah.
I think I said the exact line just now.
So I'm just like, well, I heard there was some stuff that violated youth protection, and then he would talk about it, and then he'd be like, so can anyone explain to me why that's the wrong thing to do? And then just like
No one said that.
nobody said anything, so I had to be like, well, you know, it's inappropriate and child pornography and all that. And Thomas and Tim didn't say anything.
Good thing I
so-
wasn't 18 at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, yeah. You get convicted.
I heard like the reason you didn't get in trouble was because the camp counselor was like so relieved that it was like a prank because he thought it was like he
Yeah.
heard about it and he thought it was like he was gonna have to deal with like some pedophile dad like that took pictures of Tim, but he's like, well, phew, it's just a lighthearted prank, you know.
a kid
It's just
versus
a prank,
kid.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pee-wee.
Well, if you saw that video of my Ziva and everything, he would change his tune.
Like, you have to come with us for a while.
Send that to Tim. No, but no, I thought it was because there was no like evidence either.
Well, that too, probably.
Yeah, but
So did you delete the pictures?
there never was any pictures.
If you were to take those pictures,
Would you have?
wouldn't you have deleted them?
Well, I hope you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
When,
How
you, when you
soon
when you would have heard about like that
would you?
Tim
Have,
snitched, or when you took them?
When I took
When
them.
would you have?
When I
deleted
reviewed him and had some fun in the bathroom real quick.
There wasn't a chance like after snitch because like Tim snitched and then just like immediately like.
I don't know if you called.
No,
snitch.
literally,
I don't
this
know
is
if you
what
called
happened.
snitching.
Well,
I feel like it's an appropriate response.
Yeah,
Tim
It's kind of
reported.
unfair
Oh, yeah.
accusation.
When Tim reported it.
I was an asshole when I was younger.
Yeah, you were.
In Scouts mainly. No, like I remember like vividly. It was like I took it. Tim like ooga and then like slapped on his clothes. My camera went back in my case because nothing was ever taken. And
You just said you took it.
no, I said if I did, then that would have been
You
deleted.
said I took it.
What do you
Whatever.
mean?
Just keep going.
No, I aimed. You know,
You
like
just
dry
said I
fire.
took it, though.
I dry fired though.
Oh,
I dry fired. Yeah, guys, come on, you guys know. So yeah, I went ka-chink with no SD card in there, of course. So
So
there's
there's
no
SD card in there.
Yeah, and then the SD card went back in once I.
Oh, that's how.
Yeah. So anyway, there was no picture. Never have, never will. And we walked down. I'm like, oh shit.
Can you find the-
I have a feeling like what I did was another impulse decision. No, it's probably gonna have consequences. And I start walking like, at least there's corn dogs tonight. I'm walking down. I get there, and then fucking I see Tim. That's right when he's finished talking to Dave, and then that's when it happened. Like, and I'm like, I don't know. I didn't have my corn dogs yet. I know.
Do you
All
think
about the corn dog.
do you think
No,
of-
because
do
I
you- Thomas,
remember that.
Do you
Food
think
and
of Thomas?
cars.
Do you think of time in relation to food? Or
I think
something?
of time in relation of cars, food, and locations.
Okay.
Like I could remember stuff.
The location
based on
seems
that.
He
appropriate.
doesn't
The food is
understand the
interesting.
concept of time. Just-
No, I mean I can remember food. So I remember.
He's like, oh yeah, I'll be there in a while. Well, how long? Oh, how
know
long
the-
will it take to cook 6 hot dogs?
You know the
Fast corn
highlight
dogs.
of my trip in Italy? The highlight of my trip to Europe in 2006 was me eating raviolis in a freaking Italian restaurant. I ordered 2 plates. I stuffed them down. I'm like, I need another plate. I stuffed them down again. And then I remember Ferrari Museum. It's only cars and food for some reason. It's weird. No, but anyway, yeah.
Half-past corn dog.
You know, I took a bite. I'm like, oh, these look actually really good. And my stomach was just bombarded because I didn't know the backfire, like what was gonna happen with the camp counselor. I'm like,
6 macaroni
I was like
boils.
waiting to see if my dad was gonna find. Like, I took a bite. I'm like, I took a bite of the watermelon, threw it all away. I'm like, damn it, the corn dogs. I'm like, I was so looking forward to it, and I fucking I blame Tim though. He shouldn't have opened his mouth.
I have a funny Tim story.
Tim too.
I need
Tim
a-
Tam.
I need a beer.
Tim Joe.
We're at this we're at a meeting. Or well,
Oh
actually
yeah, I know what
like
you're talking about.
yeah.
Logan, where's your?
Rewind a bit. So like we were like at a meeting, we were deciding like what shirts we were gonna get, and like Dave had like this catalog or whatever, and we were all looking at it, and Tim like kept
Tim
making
wanted brown shirts. He wanted to be part of the brown shirts.
yeah. He kept making this stupid joke like, wouldn't it be funny if we got pink ones?
Oh yeah.
Wait,
And then
was that?
It's just at
meeting.
some meeting.
it was at a meeting, and then like and then Tim was like, wow, everyone's like, wow, Tim, that's really funny. And so Dave like took note of that. So when Dave like ordered the shirts for us, he got he got Tim the shirt that he paid for, but he also bought a pink one. And so he was handing out the shirts, and he gives Tim a pink one. And I like saw him, and Tim was kind of like distraught by it, but I didn't think anything of it.
Oh.
And so a couple moments pass by, and I hear Dave like walking across the hall, and he's like, oh Tim, I'm sorry, it's just a joke, it's okay. And then Tim like turns around, and his face is all red, and he's bawling his eyes out, and he screams at him.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and he's like, it's not funny, because everybody has a regular shirt, and I have a pink one. And then he like runs into the bathroom and like punches the wall and has a meltdown.
How old was he?
At the meeting? What
was
year
like-
was this?
14 at
Jeez.
least, I think.
Wait, 2014?
He
was 14,
He was
so
14.
probably like
Yeah.
2013.
2014.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well,
You guys,
Well,
do
good.
you guys remember the meeting of
He held a knife to
the one
somebody.
you guys were preparing for the rock climbing and Brian he put on he had, he
oh,
had a towel.
yeah. So yeah,
Everybody's just laughing.
just to let you know, first meetings. When we refer to meetings, it's just meeting in Granite Falls like we do weekly, so they're just regular stuff. Nothing typically happens
like-
that exciting.
Clan cookouts kind of.
Yeah, just clan cookouts. Everybody gathers up, burn a couple crosses. Not a big deal, but like we were getting ready for rock climbing, and so our scoutmaster comes in, and he's like, "All right, guys, we're off about rock climbing today." He's like this harness on, and it just accentuates his crotch.
His hard on just sticking straight through like the hole in his harness.
Yeah, like there's like a little
Pitching
like a triangle of
Pitching
death.
a teepee.
Yeah,
Iron
a
triangle.
three-sided
Bermuda
teepee.
triangle.
And I knew he
The
knew
triangle.
that we knew, and he
He
was
just owned
trying
it,
to
though.
cover for it. He just
He-
ignored it.
I feel like he owned it.
He was just like I don't know. He was like teaching us, and then like he just kind of stopped, and he was like, "Boy, this harness is sure uncomfortable. I gotta take it off."
Yeah.
And then he just walked away.
Yeah, he took off his leather chaps, and he took off his
assless
boy.
chaps.
yeah, his leather harness. He took that off too. Took the ball out of his mouth. He's like, "I'm kind of uncomfortable now." Haha.
I don't.
I think he saw us laughing at him. He's like,
It was
I'm
like,
not sure.
did he like walk up there
Yeah,
like with it
I
protruding?
think he didn't think it was.
That was
gonna
like
look that.
2015 or late 2014.
There was like another time that happened without a harness. That he had like a slight boner.
I
I remember like, we all laughed about it.
Who
I,
wants to talk? Who wants to
Oh.
bring up the beloved Jessica?
wait, I got one more Brian thing. So it's
Okay.
like we're at this camp out, and like all the kids had went to bed. So I was just like sitting by the fire with all the dads
We'll cramp out.
in Mount Pilchuck.
He thinks in location.
Yeah, Mount
Wait,
Pilchuck.
what's
for dinner?
What's the most recent we went to? Late 2014.
No, the
Yeah. What do we have?
it was the first one.
Chug went.
Who drove? Oh, yeah. The most recent one we came down at night with our lamps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That one.
No, it was before that. It was the one where we camped out.
There's the
Anyway.
one with
No, we both.
Okay, what was the first one, Thomas?
Oh, I remember
Oh.
Mitchell one.
So yeah, so I'm the only kid there, and I'm like 11 years old, and I'm with the dads.
The dads are the worst, by the way.
Well,
What was the mom's then?
I
Anyway.
always hated spending time with the dads.
Anyway, there was like
Boring.
Yeah.
they were talking about like different like types of careers and why you would want to do it, and then like a sewage worker, like why would you want to do that job? And then
Because you get to play with shit.
out of nowhere, Brian's like, I asked the guy that did my vasectomy why he wanted to do that kind of thing. It was just like, I was like 11 years old, and I was like,
grow up, I want to be
oh
a
my
vasectomy.
gosh, like I just knew this thing about this person. It was so uncomfortable.
That is kind of interesting. That you
What
know
is?
that he had a
I sound
vasectomy.
in charge of it. What is that? The second one.
It's where you make it. They cut the thing. that
You
makes
clip
it-
your thing that makes sperm. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you could fire blanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just.
Well, you don't fire anything.
Well,
you
no,
just-
that's
No, you
semen.
do.
You can
I
fire
think-
semen.
You have
though.
semen. It's semen. You just don't have
Wait,
sperm.
he got
Oh, really?
I found that out recently though, like within
Oh.
the past year, that you actually do have semen still. It's just
Oh.
not sperm.
Wait.
I thought you just didn't have anything. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
me too.
Well, you still have sperm. It just doesn't go connect into the semen.
Yeah,
They're
You
just,
guys
like,
were talking about this by the
hanging out in
Donovan's
balls.
pool last year. I remember.
probably.
Yeah.
Hmm.
'Cause it was-
The more you know.
Yeah, that's interesting. So,
If we're gonna keep going chronologically, we haven't talked about the second camp out. I don't remember much about it though.
What? Camp
Independence
Piggott?
Lake?
No, the second
22.
camp.
Camp Piggott.
Second camp.
Camp
Camp
Piggott.
Piggott.
I wasn't there.
Second summer camp.
Oh, second summer.
Nothing
camp.
really happened honestly that year. Oh, except
Oh,
Van Wilson.
organization with Larry.
Yeah, organized.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't even know where that term came from.
Okay, so yeah, we had this term throughout Scouts that we coined in the second summer camp, where we just go like organization. Well, Larry, and Larry's Thomas's dad, who's like a control freak, and
Hey,
like constantly like, OCD. He won't hear this ever,
No, I'm just-
unless he like tracks you down somehow, which would be terrifying.
I
like-
remember something from Camp Piggott.
Okay, but yeah, so like yeah, we always joke about that, but like what it was is like our camp was on the top of this fucking hill, like the highest altitude,
Oh,
way
yeah.
in the open, no trees
The
near it.
nosebleeds.
It was just the sun on us all day in our tents, and the tents were old and it was really not fun. And like one of the tents was just like disgusting. And like Larry came in, he's like, "Look what you got in here! Look what this!" And, like started ripping like sleep bags out. He's like, "Look at this shit!" Like throwing sleep bags like outside, making
He's like
piles.
Gordon
of them.
Ramsay.
There was a scout that was under a sleeping bag. He picked it up, threw the scout in the woods. He's like, "You don't need this in here. What the hell's this doing here?" Threw it out. That kid never. I don't even know that kid's name. I never saw him again. It was
Yeah.
weird.
And then
never saw him before that either. He was just
Yeah,
there.
he was
Don't
just
remember
there to throw.
incriminating.
And we were like saying we could record it, and then it would be like one of those reality TV shows, like the Hotel Hell.
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay. And then the intro would be like organization or Larry in cursive writing, like it's writing across the screen. And then out of the O pops Larry, and he's like, "Well, Larry."
Yeah, like 6 arms up. Wow.
That's all, folks.
Yeah. But that's basically it was just him organizing and throwing shit everywhere and like critiquing all the scouts for being slobs.
Yeah.
With his like really
Is it
thick
at
New
home?
York accent. It was really funny. I mean, Logan was probably just giggling the entire time, like watching it happen.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Logan?
Was that the year we did the Duloc thing from Shrek?
No, that was
Oh,
the
that
first
was
year.
the first,
Yeah.
First-
So we were planning our skit. What is that?
Corbin.
So we were planning our skit to do. So every year typically people do skits, and since this one we haven't done any for good reason, because we're gonna do the thing from the first Shrek movie where they go to like this booth and a bunch of little heads sing a song where they say Duloc is a perfect place, and they there's this one ass joke where they say like
Please stay
Something-
off of the grass.
Shine
tie
your shoes, wipe your
face.
and everybody messed it up completely because we were like
We didn't practice very much.
we didn't practice
I remember,
basically at all.
Yeah.
Weird shit.
And then
flying
at
around.
the last second we made a change. What do we were said
changed
Fire Mountain
Duloc
instead
to-
of Duloc,
yeah.
and then half the people still said Duloc because
Yeah.
we
I remember
Then
that.
has to fire mountain, so it was so terrible.
in front of the whole that.
And in front of all
It's
the
like-
other troops.
Think of a cringe compilation is like a million times worse than
I
that.
feel like ours was the funniest though.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, like there was like shit where there was like one guy would be on stage, and then he'd stand there for like 30 seconds yelling, "Where's my magic paper? Where's my magic
Yeah.
paper?" And then someone would come up on stage and give him a roll of toilet paper, and he's like, "Oh, thank God!" And then he'd just run off stage.
Yeah, that's actually a very good like.
And then there's the
Summation
classic
of it.
where the people are like squatting, and
Yeah.
they're like, "We're on an invisible bench," and then more people come, and then we're on an invisible bench, and a bunch of people are on this invisible bench, and then a guy comes and says, "I removed that bench yesterday," and then they all fall down.
Like Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
God damn it. Yeah, so if you
Yeah,
managed to
wrong.
slip an ass joke into a Boy Scout camp skit, congratulations.
Yeah.
Give us our contact us, please. We'll put you on an Autscast. You obviously have earned our respect. I remember there was one troop that I thought was really funny. I heard like their each troop has a troop yell, and their troop yell was like, "We're the Ferraris. We're super fast. Better watch out, or I'll run over your finger,"
Oh yeah.
or something. I thought it was
At Klondike, yeah.
yeah, and then they made them like change it or something.
Remember the Picto Chat on the DS from the first Klondike?
Oh
Yeah.
doo, doo, doo. Yeah, Logan made this like 3-second video of this just like. What was the video? It was just like artwork.
It was
Yeah,
just like
for-
you. I remember I had sunglasses.
I can't
Remember
remember.
that one.
It was
too.
something, but it was like something drawn in.
still
It's just
have
like
it.
all it was
remember-
is like doo 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 weenie.
Just
And,
kept
like,
playing that over and
It
over.
was just on a loop, and so he played it for like the entire car ride. We were just like laughing about it, and I'm like, personally, I was like, dude, you can't say weenie. Like, I was like, Logan's dad was in the car. I'm like, dude, go put that away. Your dad's gonna hear it.
I remember that's when
It's
we
like
had
hard
this.
drugs.
You guys had the old Suburban, the long wheelbase,
Yeah,
the blue one.
yeah.
See,
And
Thomas remembers cars really
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
He
Thomas,
thinks in food,
Thomas,
cars,
what
and
cars did I
locations.
have when you met me?
I remember that long ass dually Ford white pickup truck, the crew cab. Remember you guys
Yeah.
had at the White House? I remember your car, that weird one in the backyard that was like
Okay.
square you couldn't find the keys to.
Okay.
That old Ford, your minivan. I remember, let's see, the minivan. Yeah, the Ford Windsor that's in your back. Let's see, your car, of course. Your beloved
1993
one.
Nissan Altima.
Yeah. No, 6.7 Monte Carlo. Chevy Monte Carlo. No. Oh, the Mason's truck, the blue one, the dump.
Yep.
That motorhome you guys annihilated.
Yeah.
I wish I saw that.
Yeah. So Thomas, that was in
And then that truck cab that was like we'd hide in.
the blue one. Yeah. Or
No.
the international.
Yeah, no, that little like.
Yeah, the international.
Yeah.
1947 or 48 international.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Thomas remembers that from 2005.
Pretty impressive.
Mechaphile. I am the. Wait, and I remember on our way remember we were too lazy to get food at Klondike, like to make it.
First year or second year?
Well, no, that was the thing. The first year, it was pretty epic. Like, we had our own nice warm cabin. And the
First
next
year
year, when Brian took over, he's like, I gotta change some things around
I gotta make
here,
your asses as hard as
yeah,
possible.
Yeah, so we gotta make you guys freeze your fucking ass off in an open, like, loft.
Oh,
like,
let's describe. Okay, I'll describe Klondike really fast. Because Klondike is like, it was like one of the most fun events we went to in the first like 2 years of Scouts. And like what it is you build a sled for like a month, and then you like get ready. You go, you drive to like the mountains in Washington, and then like you stay in either a warm cabin or like in a log cabin that's cold as shit.
Yeah, which makes no
And
sense.
open
why
with
they-
no doors.
Yeah,
segregation
open
is
no
just-
doors.
Like one wall is removed.
It's
Yeah.
basically like pillars, yeah.
Yeah. And then the next day you sleep there for the night, you know, have food. And then the next day you get up, have breakfast, and then you all meet at this like place that's just there's snow everywhere. It's like a foot of snow. And then you go to all these little events like spitting licorice as far as possible, trying to get everybody to hold hands and get through like a web or something of rope.
And then the beloved sleigh ride, or the sleigh pulling.
Yeah, and then the
Yeah.
very last event
Corbin.
of all the Klondike
Yeah.
is always
Michael,
the last event is the sled race where you are timed to race your sled with all the equipment you brought. All the way, it's a really fun. Like you have to on your sled, you have to have all the 10 what is it?
10 essentials.
10 essentials,
and all that stuff.
which is something all scouts are supposed to have on all campouts. And then you have to have like licorice for the licorice spinning, and you have to have extra candy to bribe the judges. Like that's
And then
actually
you
a
have to
part
pull
of
a
it.
kid on the back of the sled.
Yeah, and so you get all this shit on this sled, and then there's one guy who's driving it, and then everybody else is pulling the sled, and you have to race it around this like, I don't know, like probably a quarter of a mile track or something. And so the first year was really fun. Like we went there, went to the warm cabin, like we played poker with M&Ms and stuff, and then we raced around. Was the first year the one with Corbin?
No, it was the second.
So the first,
No,
No, it was the
First
first
year you went to
2001.
I think it was, the
Yeah.
first year. So the first year, we had like a lot of fun. We were only like one, usually each troop has patrols, and the patrols are like 5 to 8 people typically. And so like our troop only had like 8 people in it, so we were just one patrol who only had one sled.
The Banshees.
The Banshees, is that what we were at the time? And oh yeah, what was our yelling? Banshees.
Something like that, yeah.
And like
Pretty creative.
our flag, like other people have flags, and our flag was just like a cow skull with like
Yeah.
like a garbage bag
On
like
a
wrapped
post.
around it or something. And
Ed made it.
yeah, or Michael made it, one of them, yeah. And like we did all the events, and then we go to this sled race, and this is where disaster strikes. We're already not doing great, and like we start racing, and we have this one guy that was overweight, and he's
You're
running.
You're being kind of generous.
He was overweight, and then he was like running, and his pants like start falling down, and we're like, "Come on, dude, Corbin, keep him up, come on, keep it up, Corbin."
He's in the back,
Like he's right in front of the sled, like he's the one right next to the sled, and then suddenly the clock strikes 12, like he falls over, and
all hell breaks loose.
and yeah, the sled runs him over in front of everybody. Everybody's watching this because they do one sled at a time in the race, so everybody else watches all the sleds go one at a time. So everybody's watching us, and like one of our guys gets run over by the sled, and then we just keep driving and dragging him.
The guy in the back is like pushing us. I was like, stop!
So
And
we
we
stop-
just keep going. Like
Eventually we stop, and he gets up, and he like I don't know, like putters back to where he was and pulls his pants up, and he starts running holding his pants, and his pants start sliding down again, and he's like,
No, remember? I remember.
then his pants fall down again, and he falls over, and like we almost run him over a second time. I think we might have, I'm not sure.
No,
and
it
then,
was one.
and then we're like, oh shit, sorry. And then the guy in the back, Michael, who's the 17-year-old
Yeah.
burly man we talked about earlier.
Carried him.
No, he's like,
Daddy.
he's like, here, get on the sled, and we'll try to just pull you on the sled. And as we go for like 20 feet, and then the official stop us, are like, you can't have any boys on the sled besides the musher. And we're like, okay.
he's
well,
not gonna
I know.
survive if we don't.
Wait, I thought it was also because the sled didn't literally move because you weighed it down so much.
Yeah, we also had problems with that too, because
He
the
fell
sled.
through the earth as soon as he sat on the
Oh my
sled.
god.
It was insane.
And so then he like got up, and we just started like walking. Basically, is what we had to settle with. And then like we got towards the end, we're like, oh, come on, we're picking up pace a little bit, and we start running. And Corbin's like, "Wah, stop!" crap, we can't run. And so we're like, fucking, like, we take his leash off or whatever, leave him behind. We run across the finish line, leave him back there. And, like, everybody's like, what the? And then, like, Michael, like, gets across the finish line, comes back, and picks up, Corbin's probably, like, 240 pounds, 250.
Yeah, something like that.
He's like
Well,
11
now
or
he is,
12.
but back then,
no,
yeah.
like he was like 11 or 12, and he weighed like over 200 pounds. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And Michael picks him up somehow. Like I don't know how Michael did it, but he picked him up and
Yep.
walked him like the last 100 feet.
On his shoulder.
And, yeah, or I think he
Okay.
was carrying him, but like we got extra points because apparently we went back and helped him out. Which I felt
Yeah.
I don't think we would be allowed to finish the race
I think
without
we
him
were
We
being
weren't
across.
very nice to him.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, we
kept
were.
going.
We were
Keith
dicks to
he
him.
wanted to kill Keith, he said.
We also Thomas
yeah.
Thomas and Keith used to relentlessly tease
Yeah.
him for his weight.
He, like,
And despite the fact that Thomas was like also overweight at the
Yeah.
time.
Brian-
Riding on the fattest.
Brian thought that, like, he was gonna, when he went up Mount Pilchuck, and you guys just called him, like,
Chug chug.
You guys-
Well, they called him Chub Chub, and
You guys-
Thomas was like, "No, we're saying Chug Chug, like
Yeah.
because he drinks so much water." And he's like, I'm not buying that.
and you guys called him
Sausage
Chub
genius.
Chub the whole time, and he freaked the fuck out, and, like, Brian gave us, like, the whole troop of talk, and he basically called him, like, a school shooter or something, because,
Who,
like,
me or
No, Chub Chub.
Corbin, because he's like, there were some, like, safety things going on, you know, you can't really make fun of people because, you know, you don't know what they might get angry and they might, you know, push someone off a cliff or something.
He had the chance. He could have done it.
Yeah.
said he was tempted.
Anyway, that was Clinic the first year, and it was hella fun. And then the second year,
That's
not as fun.
No, that was the
Still fun.
Keith
That
almost
was when,
The most
yeah,
badass fun.
Keith got hypothermia.
Third year
He
sucked,
wasn't
but
even wearing
second.
socks.
Yeah. So what happened? Keith was some guy in our troop that I think I talked about him in another Autscast. But like, he was kind of poor, and like he was kind of hood, I guess you could say, kind of hoodie, but
urban without the darkness.
yeah, he
White
was
trash.
ginger. He was
White
ginger.
trash, yeah.
Kinda, yeah, and
Like Jesse Pinkman.
yeah.
Yeah.
That type of guy.
Without the skill set.
Yeah.
And then like so we're like all going to Klondike, and we get there, and then Keith is like, I can't wait. And, like, we all have our snow pants on, our boots, and like he just jumps in the snow. He has sneakers on and jeans.
No socks.
Yeah, just sneakers, jeans, like a shirt. I think like a jacket, like a cloth jacket, not like
Yeah.
a winter jacket, like a cloth jacket. Running around the snow like a dog, and we're like,
I remember that big
what
giant
the fuck are
mountain
you
he
doing?
was
Like I'm
climbing.
like, Keith, you have nothing on. You're gonna freeze. And he's like, no, dude. As long as I'm moving, we'll be warm. And then eventually he stopped moving, and
As you do.
yeah, we got to our cabin, which was like Logan said, one of the open end cabins. So basically, it was just a roof with like one wall to keep the wind from eating you, which it still did. And like Keith was like freezing to death, and so Mr. Rochelle's like, here, Keith, fist me and it'll keep you warm. And so Keith sticks his feet out, and Mr. Rochelle puts him in his armpits to keep Keith's feet. Fuck, that's a tongue twister. Keep Keith's feet from freezing to death. Yeah, to keep Keith's feet from freezing to death. And so like,
Oh boy.
Keith just has his like feet in Mr. Rochelle's armpits, and we're all like,
Sounds like a weird
45 minutes.
He sounds like
Yeah.
Kinky
Ed
as fuck.
Ed like walked like in the middle of the night. Ed was like walked over to him. He's like, Keith, do you like cheese?
Ed's one of the other scoutmasters.
What did he actually give him cheese?
Yeah, he gave the man cheese.
Wow, that's really generous.
Yeah, and then we like woke up, went to the thing.
I remember McDonald's.
It was
That's all I
fun.
remember. Is the
Yeah,
Angus
that
burger.
was-
Brendan
that's-
ordered. I can't remember. I always wanted to get this established. Did you order the Angus burger with? Did you ask for everything? Did you ask for everything except bacon or only bacon?
Only bacon,
So-
probably.
So only a fucking bun with bacon on it. That's all
and
you-
meat.
And meat.
Oh, and meat. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I always wondered.
Yeah.
No, 'cause
I remember
got
you
this-
ordering the Angus, by the way.
Yeah,
I remember that too.
Angus burgers were pretty epic back then. Like,
Yeah, I remember like
those
they
shit.
just came out, and I'm like, oh, Brendan, high roller, spending like $4 on a burger. Like,
That was
damn.
not 4. It was like more than that.
Oh fuck! But yeah,
Get
the
the
big tradition with Klondike is afterwards you go to McDonald's because you just wasted a ton of calories pulling a fucking sled around in the snow for an entire day.
Especially with Corbin.
And so we always just pig out the next day at McDonald's on the way back.
Nig out, not pig out.
Yeah, nigga out. And I remember one year they like everybody else went to like Arby's.
Yeah.
And then like me and Thomas or me and Logan were like, oh, this is like totally against tradition. We gotta go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
So we walked like across the parking lot just to get McDonald's. And then like I went back to there and I had fries or something and I put them on the table. I was eating them, and everybody wanted to grab a fry, so they all came in and attacked me. And then like one of them, I think it was William, or Keith, knocked over my milkshake I bought on the ground because they were grabbing my fry when I told them not to grab it, and they reached for it anyways, and they accidentally knocked over my thing and spilled it everywhere. I was so fucking pissed.
In front of the entire math class.
Yeah, in front of the entire math class too. It sucked. That's just a term we use, me and Landon. And then like
You'd know if you ever hung out with this chick.
and then like the third
I
year,
don't even know that. What is that math class thing?
it's just something Landon says.
Oh.
And then like the third year, I think it was the last year we did Klondike, right?
Yeah, that was shit. No. Yeah, and then after that, they started converting to down the street.
Yeah.
So,
That's retarded.
That was the year we won.
yeah, so what happened was, like, we went to Klondike, and we're like, or we're getting ready for Klondike, we're, oh, I think it'll be cool, and they're like, oh yeah, you're gonna need wheels this year, and we're like,
Wheels from Boys in the Hood, dude.
they're like, what? And they're like, yeah, no more snow. We're gonna do it, like, just outside
Yeah,
of Granite
global
instead
warming.
of in the
I think-
snow.
After the first 2 years, we skipped a year, and then the year after
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
we did it right out of town, and there wasn't snow and nobody.
Yeah, so it was just, like, you're driving around like a cart, like a snow cart, with wheels, and there's no... And there's like there's sled trucks on the bottom of it still, but you don't use them. And we were like the oldest kids there because we were like 16 at the time, or like 15 at the time. And so we just destroyed all the other little baby babas,
Yeah.
like easily.
Baby
ran
what?
them over. Baby baba.
They said Pablo's.
No, not baby babas.
Came a little way.
A bunch of like just like little brown girls. Like, we're just running into them.
The dark people are here. But yeah, we won that year, but it sucked because there was no camping. It was just a one-day thing. No McDonald's afterwards, and no snow to freezing.
Yep.
And there was no race at the end either.
Yeah.
It was just going from station to station, spitting licorice at each other.
Kind of stupid.
Yeah. Every station they wanted us to spit licorice on them.
So, come on, spit on me! Come on! Come on!
What
I
else?
feel like they would have accepted, instead of candy, they would have accepted like a picture of Tim naked as a bribe more.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude,
dude, you would
2D
have wanted
leadership.
some. Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, speaking of that, so we move on to Camp Careless events.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Let's move on to the llamas.
Okay.
I just remember Jake the llama. That's all I remember. He was like,
There's a llama named Jake.
and I wanted to shoot him dead.
What happened the first year?
Wait, we should describe Camp Careless, what the concept is first.
Yeah, the concept is Bucky.
That was so funny.
Alright, this
a lot of
content warning for any viewers, like, we're gonna be making fun of a lot of disabled people here.
We need a disclaimer.
If you're retarded, please shut your.
Your discretion is.
If you're
advised.
retarded,
Shut
you're
the
probably
fuck
listening
up.
to us right now.
It is
You have
Autscast.
autism.
But anyway, the concept is Camp Careless is a camp in Snohomish that's careless, and it's right next to like a mental institution and like
Rehabilitation.
physical and mental rehabilitation center. So the people that use it are physically.
Even though they're not going to rehabilitate, they're just sort of living.
Yeah,
there.
they're the people that got left behind basically.
Yeah, a lot of them got in car accidents and got brain damage and stuff, and they're just rolling around in wheelchairs. And some of them are like functional, and they're like, they know what's going on and stuff, and some of them are just like nearly brain dead.
Yeah, they're just rolling around playing tiddlywinks with Jesus and stuff.
Tiddlywink?
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, there's a camp like probably like 1,000 feet away from the thing, like on their
Yeah.
property, and they just have like a couple of cabins and like a little fireplace and like a cooking place, and every year the scouts go in and clean it out, and repair stuff for them, restock firewood, and so basically that's what the concept of Camp
Yeah.
Careless is, and we've done it like probably 5 times or something.
Yeah, I remember the first year, we were like, we want something good to eat. Egg McMuffins. Like,
Oh, yeah.
He's like, homemade egg McMuffins. Fucking, I remember, what is it, little Jacob Anley. He was like there. Oh, Mitchell was there.
Mitchell.
Oh,
Was
also,
Mitchell there the second
yeah,
year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was.
No,
Hey, he
and
brought
then
his
Logan
fishing rod.
Klein.
Was
Logan
it
Klein, that tall guy.
bragging
He's probably
about his
stoned
fishing
now.
rod.
Yeah,
Was
bro.
Logan Klein really there?
Logan Klein.
He was in it,
He
yeah.
wasn't there, was he?
He was in it for a little while.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
in
He was
there.
in Boy Scouts?
He
Yeah.
was. I remember. He was in it for like
He reminds me of
3
Gavin.
months.
You know Gavin?
Yeah.
Doesn't he remind you?
Yeah.
Is he still alive or?
Gavin.
No, Logan Klein.
Probably. He's our age. He's probably alive, Thomas.
I don't know. If I don't see someone within 5
But I want to just make a disclaimer that Camp Careless is in Snohomish, Washington. And when I first went to Camp Careless, I didn't know Snohomish was a city. I didn't know that for the first 2 years. I didn't know where we were.
Really?
I didn't know where Snohomish was in relation to Granite Falls. And then I moved to Snohomish like a year later. And I'm like, wait a second, Camp Careless is here. And then I figured it out.
You could walk, honestly, if you really wanted.
From my house, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like a 2-mile walk, but or like a 3-mile, but
No.
yeah, I didn't know Snohomish was a city until like I was 13. And it's like only 25 minutes away from Granite, so
You miss Granite though, right?
I guess, yeah.
I guess. Come on.
Don't get your hopes up, look.
It's a great town. Come on.
So yeah, anyway, we were there. It was like a little fish. No.
They have like a, yeah.
They have a little fishing pool. That's
Oh yeah,
besides the point.
we helped make that.
Yeah.
The little edge old trout hole.
Yeah.
Total trout. Remember that weird statue of a guy showering himself, scrubbing himself?
Oh yeah,
Or those-
every year we
Oh,
threw
the-
stuff in.
We peed
Yeah,
on it.
I filled up. I took a
Did we
bottle of
pee on it?
shampoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took a bottle of shampoo. I can't
I
remember.
think we're the
someone
ones
pissed
with the
in it.
brain damage.
Did we fuse piss or no?
Maybe.
Did we all like?
There was no, but there's like this wooden cutout of like, this like old honky tonk cowboy like in this like wash bin taking a bath
Scrubbing
or a
his
shower
crotch.
or something. Yeah, like scrubbing away like right next to the shower house as to symbolize that it's a shower house.
Yeah.
And
Which you
like
fell off and
it looks like it kind of looked like Chuck Norris to us, I think.
did
I
it?
remember. I think that's what I remember it as. But yeah, we would like pee on it, I think.
Yeah. No, I remember. There was an old bottle of shampoo. I filled it up with piss and another.
Oh, yeah, I do
and we
remember
dumped it all over. I don't know why.
So stupid.
Remember, we'd have to set up that canopy every year to like.
Oh yeah,
for the-
that was always so.
Yeah, I remember Corbin was
Oh,
leaning
yeah.
back in the chair, those plastic ones, and he was like leaning,
He
and
snapped.
the legs they just snapped off.
Yeah, the 200-pound guy broke a chair.
Yeah,
They can't careless.
and then Bucky came down and just
While we
started
were stacking
mumbling.
firewood.
Yeah, we couldn't help laugh. Like, not me and Logan were like laughing to ourselves.
And he was like looking at us with like one eye is like a lazy eye, so he's looking away, and his face is just like frozen in the weirdest position. So Thomas was like, "Hey, look, Mr. Freeze," and like,
You guys are horrible. Oh my god.
Mr. Freeze.
he's just like 10 feet behind us, just watching us with like that.
I remember
frozen
that.
face.
And
Every
he was
time we look over our shoulder, we're like,
Yo, Mr. Freeze.
He'd always have a red shirt on too, and his head would be here, and he'd have a weird like Brendan kind of haircut. Like no offense, like
Yeah, it looks like a piece of shit.
yeah, like a fucking piece of shit. And Logan, remember the other guy who Wed's like, yep, this is blah blah blah. The only word he can say is fuck, and he's like,
"Oh yeah."
fuck.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
out of
fuck.
all the words you can say, of course, fuck is
Is
like.
that the same guy that had the little keyboard thing on his? There's one guy who could only
I
point
fight
with the finger, so he had his
vampires.
finger.
High five vampires. High five vampires.
From Special Poetry. Hi, fight vampire. Remember?
I don't remember that part.
No, but
That was cool though.
he had a beard. I remember. And then remember. Oh, of course, the famous incident, Donovan's nail award.
Oh yeah, I fucking fucked my leg really hard. Like we were playing hide and go seek tag. I think the second or third year of Camp Careless.
2012.
Okay, so the second year, and
Wait, were you still living at your grandma's in 2012? Yeah, you were.
Yeah, yeah, that was at my grandma's still. And we were playing hide and go seek tag, so I was on top of the shower house next to fucking Chuck Norris, and like I'm sitting up there, and then like they start coming up the other side of the shower house, and so I put my weight on like this railing, like very gingerly. I think I've talked about this on the Autscast before.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, I have talked about this before.
Oh, no.
So I'll just go fast, but like I fell off, cut my leg open really badly, and was screaming. And then Josh, who's some scout that's like really, just, I don't know, boring, laid back, not doing anything. Like I was like cursing really fucking loudly because I hurt myself really badly.
Yeah.
And he came over, he looked at me, he's like, meh. Like walked away.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm like, Josh, go tell somebody. And he just like walked up, told us to a show or something. And I'm like,
Meh.
He didn't run her. He was like, eh.
he's like,
It's like true. Remember, I came to your house like a week later, and I'm like, yo, Don, my dad was talking to your dad or something, or trying to get with your grandma. I don't know what he was doing. But I was like,
Get with
you're,
your
oh yeah, medieval dinner.
no, well that was, yeah, but I came out and I'm like, you came out and you were like limping and you had this giant bandage around your neck or neck. Around your leg.
My neck had just been detached.
And you had I remember you had that bathing suit with like yellow flowers and white.
Yeah.
And you're walking and like, yeah, I'm like, hey, on, like, you got what's going on? Like, so apparently Brian made an award for you, like about a nail, and it's that nail you got your leg cut on with a plaque, and you get that award at the next ceremony. And it'll be like, remember? And a little thing for the heads up. And then we went to medieval times with Roger's a freak.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Roger Ailes was there. He grabbed somebody in front of us. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was. He treated his people like shit, and apparently, like, he picked his nose in the kitchen and shit. The owner.
No, we're talking about something totally different right now. But we're talking about medieval dinner. It's this event that me and Thomas went to like twice.
Yeah,
maybe
Carnation.
thrice. But
Thrice. Like
remember the giant granite wheel you could roll? And we
yeah, so like you go here and it's like this like medieval like kind of little building, a couple other buildings.
It's
like a small town.
Village, like a little.
And you go there and they make you like old-fashioned dinner from like the 1500s and stuff.
Your plate
Where
is a
this?
giant.
What?
It's in Carnation, past Monroe. It's actually really good. It's just like
It is nice, yeah.
yeah.
It's like a restaurant?
No, it's like a once a month
Technically,
thing.
yeah. No, you can technically eat there. There's an upstairs portion, and the part downstairs is like every Sunday or something.
It's like once a month they like go there and LARP.
Well,
or
maybe
something.
yeah. The event you're talking
You don't
about.
LARP, you don't dress up for it. The guests don't, but the people that serve it do.
But
And,
anyway,
yeah.
like yeah, your plate is a giant piece of bread. And,
Oh yeah.
And you get only a spoon.
Like
and
on the
a knife.
Mayflower.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
food's disgusting.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
I hated the food
You
so
did?
much. Yeah.
Oh, I actually
There's
loved
not
it.
a lot of it I liked.
Oh.
They made like
The food is good, though.
spiced grape juice.
Yeah, it was fucking good.
But
No, it was just like white grape juice with like good seeds, like cinnamon kind of flavor.
yeah.
And then they had boar, like sliced boar. It was really good. And then they had this other one. What was that really good one?
Duck?
Yeah,
Goose or
duck.
something? I
Duck,
remember it
duck,
was,
goose.
I think it was like duck, duck, goose. I think it was goose because it was like really fatty.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's like this giant marble wheel outside that you could roll around that they would like crush grain in, and Thomas put like Hot Wheels in it. We would crush the Hot Wheels
Are you serious?
with this like 300-pound marble stone.
Yeah, it was like.
Remember that
It's
Hot
huge.
Wheel crushing phase? You put them under the bus.
Yeah, I remember at Mukilteo in the bus, I put it under, and then next day you guys had a field trip. Like, hey, Don, can you put that Hot Wheel?
Oh yeah! Oh my god, that was such a weird story. Yeah, so it's not even that weird. It's just odd that
Ironic.
like Thomas went on this field trip one day. He's in a totally different class than me. Went to Mukilteo on the beach, had a Hot Wheel, put it under his bus when he was getting on the bus to leave. Never see it again. It was like a slug bug a monster truck. is
Yeah,
what it
I
was.
still got it.
And then like the next day I'm like I went to the same place and I'm leaving. I see this thing like embedded in the ground and I pick it up
How
and it's
did
like
you
a crushed
find it?
Hot Wheel. I'm like, oh, Thomas probably like this. Like, I don't know, he likes Hot Wheels. So I showed it to him. He's like, who's this? The Hot Wheel I put down yesterday.
And then
like,
I ended up throwing that on the roof, and then a few years later, my dad cleaned the roof and found it, put it downstairs.
It's like
It's
the
like-
ticket in the Polar Express that just keeps
Yeah.
finding its way back to you.
Yeah.
Oh my
It
god.
deserves a plaque.
That's really funny that.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just said he still has
It's
it.
in my bin somewhere.
Nice.
And then, I have that other one, that Charger. You came over in the winter that time, and you threw that Hot Wheel, and it flew.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I found that a few years ago when they chopped all that shit down.
I remember when
It
you
was
told me that you
buried.
found it. I'm surprised we remember this kind of shit, Thomas.
Yeah.
It's a very specific things. I was at Thomas's house once, and he had a Hot Wheel, and he threw it in the woods, and he was upset. And then like 5 years later, he found it, and he told me that he found it 2 years ago. And then now we just remember that he told me that he found it.
I sit it on my shelf still. It still has like dirt and rust from you. Thanks a lot. No, but let's move on to the most beloved story. The I want to.
That was, Camp Careless the second year, right?
Yeah.
It's like
We
the
should
last
play
year,
that here.
third
I
year.
think, Thomas, you should explain it.
Yeah, I will.
First
Yeah,
Pass me
definitely
my
explain it.
Logan right
What?
there. Fill in. Talk about something else until I get.
All right, so I'll give some background. So Tim's mom.
No. You get. Talk about another subject.
Jaden's mom.
Yeah,
Republican
talk about.
cookies.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my
okay.
God, yeah.
All right, so yeah, this is like the second, I think the first or second year of Camp Careless, and we're like done with the work for the day. We're just sitting in the cabin, and like we're having like a political discussion or something.
Well,
us
I had, like-
13-year-olds.
I had like this ongoing joke where it's like, I was the leader, so I was supposed to get everyone to like work. So I just bought a bunch of cookies.
I thought they were my
and-
cookies that I brought.
No, they're mine.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, and the joke was like that they were Republican cookies because you had to work for them.
I think-
nothing
I-
is free. No social benefit.
I think
Yeah.
I said that. I don't think.
No, one of us came up with it.
I think I came up.
Anyway, it was a really dumb joke. And so like Jaden's mom comes in to say hi or whatever, we're like playing cards. And she's like, "Oh, can I have a cookie?"
And yeah,
And I'm like, "Oh, they're Republican cookies.
I
You have
thought
to
I said
work
that,
for 'em."
Brendan.
One of us said it.
Somebody said.
And then
I thought
she's
Sam
like,
said it.
"Oh, what should I do?"
Oh, Tim
like,
said the next one.
what should I do? And then Tim's just
Okay,
like,
yeah.
"Take your shirt off." Yeah.
Except he didn't say like, he just said, "Take your shirt off."
Yeah.
And like we all look at Tim
Nobody
like,
laughed.
And you guys were doing like poker, right?
Both
Yeah.
Jaden and his little brother are just sitting there like flabbergasted, like, "Mom, please don't." Like,
and Jaden's mom was like, "Ha and like, you just have a cookie.
she's like, "I can do this funny thing with my hands, guys. Oh, jeez." Oh.
Yeah, she does like a weird salute
I'm really
to us
sorry,
or something.
yeah.
Yeah, she did like a Roman salute. Like, I can do this. How's that?
She earned her Republican cookie just through withstanding that
Yeah,
awkwardness.
honestly.
Like, good for her.
Yeah. All right, Thomas,
All right,
laid on
good
us.
for Tim.
So, here we go. I want to fuck Tim's mom up Here we go. This is the story of the Camp
Oh, you
Taylor's
have more?
event. Huh?
Oh,
So, this is basically about,
They won't be able to hear it over the Nights and White Sands.
we got it, dude. It's like
it's,
part of the
it's
spirit.
the background music for the story.
Alright, sorry. Donovan's a stickler.
I'll have Landon edit it in, even though he probably won't.
Yeah, he won't. He's a freak. So anyway, 2015 Camp Perilous, we were like having fun and stuff. And Eric and me, I just discovered Snapchat. Apparently he did too. And like I was looking at it, I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. Like, and we were playing around with it. And then I had my music playing already, and he started recording me. And I'm like thinking of like rhymes, because that's how kind of person I am. Like. And right before that, when we were doing community service,
I remember.
yeah,
you were
me
telling
and
me about
Don,
it.
we were doing community service, and then Tim's mom showed up. Tim's mom showed up, and then she's like, "Oh my god!" And I think that was right when she got off her diet. And I'm like, dude, shit. What?
Lennon
You've seen the thick and thin of her.
Thomas
literally.
thinks that it's like
Dude.
really nice, but it's just big. Is what
No,
it is.
I mean,
Yeah.
dude, no ass, no class, big ass, cum blast. That's my fucking motto. I'm not even lying.
I know that
Those
Thomas.
are the
You've told
words I
me
live
before.
by. No, but it's true.
No, but like,
Dude.
what it like? All it is.
It
it's
was like, oh my god, it was like, you
Like-
could like slap it. It was
Thomas.
sorry.
You're going crazy, jeez.
Thomas, like, it was like
I'm
a
acting
big
like
ass.
Corey, dude.
And then like just like
bridging
the
down.
jeans like held it together, I guess. But I feel if the jeans weren't there, it'd just be all over the place.
I would make it.
It would spill out on the floor.
Yeah, like all over. Run down her leg.
I like egg
Stop.
drop soup.
Tom is that sound.
I'm joking. I don't know.
But
Anyway, yeah, I'm like, Donovan, look at that. He's like, yeah, dude, man, that's freaking sexy as
No, I did. I said that. I'm like,
No, I didn't.
I'm like, Thomas, I don't know. That doesn't look that good. Like,
Come
I'm
on,
like,
no, you're just like skinny. You're in a skinny woman. Like it's.
no,
all-
I just legitimately didn't think it was that. It just
was thick as
big.
flick.
It was just big.
It was sick. All right, so bottom line, Thomas likes big butts. So if you know anybody, hit me up. Anyways, yeah, I was like talking about it. Oh, speaking of that, I can't all forget. Right where that happened, where I saw Tim's mom, like we were playing it 4 years before that. We were playing that game with the banana. the
Yeah,
detective
yeah.
game. I threw a banana at Donovan, hit him in the eye. He
Twice
fell,
somehow.
passed out. Yeah, but he passed out, and then
Yeah.
when we got up, we
The
couldn't
banana
find the
was
banana.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we dug.
I think it.
What
What
actually
find the
happened is I
banana?
sat down on the banana and it disappeared when he got back up.
Really?
It's still inside you,
Stop.
man.
No.
That
I
actually happened.
honestly think the banana time travel and went up Tim's mom's ass 4 years later, and like it was up her ass.
No, but yeah, the banana story is kind of interesting though, because like we had like these bananas, we're like pretending to shoot each other or something, like throwing bananas at each other. Or no, we were just pretending to shoot each other,
Yeah,
and then Thomas
threw it.
threw his banana at me and
Grenade.
like hit me in the face with it or something. And then like I fell over, 'cause, like I was shocked by it, and like hit me in the eye. And then like I get up like a couple seconds later, and we're like, where'd the banana go? Like we all look on the ground, like all like
It was
8 of
literally
us,
gone.
and we couldn't find the banana anywhere. We looked in like probably like a 30-foot radius.
Yeah,
and it was nowhere.
Mhm.
Like, we looked everywhere. We like lifted leaves up and like we actually cleaned something for once just to look for the banana.
And then years later, a mole spawned where the banana was. Remember that? Remember Tim's mole he found? Or no, you found a mole in the ground. You're like, look, it's a little baby mole. Let's throw it in the fire.
Yeah.
And Tim was like,
Let's talk about how retarded Tim is for a second.
and Tim is like, this goes in the ground.
Wait, Logan, restart the story so people can hear from the beginning because that's hard to understand.
Wait,
what you're
was
saying.
that the year I talked about Tim's mom or the year?
No, that was
No,
you
that
talked
was
about
way
Tim's
later.
one the year before.
Oh, so this was 2016.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, this was last year.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, when Jessica bitched us out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay,
Yeah, Mia.
explain it, Logan.
So Tim was just, or no, Thomas was just walking down. He somehow had a hunch that something was buried in the ground apparently, right? So he started digging, like, oh look, this little baby mole, it's so cute. Let's throw it in the fire. And Tim is like, dude, no, we have to put it back in the ground where it belongs so it can live. So he digs this hole 2 feet in the ground.
Wait,
drops the
Stop.
infant
Stop.
mole in.
Was it a separate hole or was it the same hole?
A separate hole.
He dug a new hole.
A new hole 2 feet in the ground.
So this
He
was like
throws
a
the mole
healthy
in.
mole that you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
He threw the dirt bag on and just packed it down. And just kept packing. He's like, now you'll survive. It's okay. I'm saving you.
and we didn't.
And
Like,
then no,
and
and I
Thomas-
had a hunch later that night. I'm like, wait, I have a feeling like I marked it so like later I could check because I had a feeling Tim was wrong, but I knew he'd bitch me
Yeah.
out. So later I checked on it and it was fucking stone cold.
yes, so Tim
And then
buried
you're,
a
like,
mole.
throwing
He
it
went out in the middle of the night
Yeah.
and dug up this mole.
No,
This
that's
dead
like
mole.
that's like 3 hours later.
Okay.
I was just when community service was over. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
where's that mole? I'm like, I unburied. I'm like, I bet Tim killed it.
Somehow it ended up in the fire, right?
When it was dead, I think.
Yeah.
Did you tell Tim that it died?
Proper burial.
Yeah, we bitched him out.
What did,
Yeah.
what did he think? Did he think it was your fault?
No, he's like, no. I had a feel like I read that. He's like, didn't he say he was like backing up his?
Yeah,
stuff
he
with
just sort of
evidence?
denied it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, no. I could have sworn moles are made to live. He must have.
No,
a
he
health issue.
blamed you. He said you killed it when you dug it up.
That makes
Oh!
sense.
Clearly left.
Yeah, he's saying I disrupted his environment. I like his peace, kind of
think-
like a chicken. If you touch their kid, like they'll leave it and ditch it. And it'll
That's
die.
not how chickens work.
What was that one then?
Just birds, they say, but
Oh
that's
yeah,
not true
chicken,
either,
yeah.
really.
Oh, whatever.
But yeah, that's
But
fucking
that was
retarded
funny.
that Tim thought that if you just dig a hole and bury a mole, it'll survive.
Pack it down.
And pack it down and crush it.
Oh, go do.
No, there's like no
Overspelled.
air pockets. Like,
Don't worry.
Yeah,
it's
exactly. It's
like
gonna
packed-
suffocate in there. And they also get crushed to death.
That's kind of funny though.
Anyway.
Oh, and
second
anyway,
year.
remember
Tim's mom.
Jessica?
Yeah.
Oh, so before that, I was doing community service. I only anticipated staying there for the day, and Logan's like, "No, I really want you to stay the whole
Yeah, because
overnight because
you're
it'd be
the only
boring."
older kid there, and I was like,
Yeah, and then so I'm like, okay, I'll ask my dad, and my dad was talking to Jessica, and Jessica, by the way, is
Yeah.
just like amazing lady. She's very supportive of her children.
Yeah.
Like
It's funny.
she's one of the nice moms. She's very forgiving and stuff. But,
You might want to tell about the BB gun thing first.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Chronological order.
Yeah.
So back to the Tim's mom story. Like I was talking about Tim's mom. I'm like, that booty. And later that day, I was like, come on, Brendan, get with the program.
You should talk about
Tell the story. Don't make
Finish
noises.
the Tim's mom story though. About the video.
Oh yeah.
Because you gotta mention that.
Yeah, and Eric. So I was like, and Eric was recording me, and I did it retardedly, and he was like, that's so funny. And then apparently he showed Tim, and then Tim, of course,
Didn't
told,
take it well.
Yeah, and then also yeah.
Imagine why.
And also on that trip, so that was the end of Tim's mom's story.
No, but and then what happened was after that, Tim's dad found out about it.
Yeah, Tim
the
took it
car
back.
wash.
Really pissed about it. And then like talked about the next meeting and like a witch
Yeah.
hunt like commenced on
Oh.
Thomas for the next like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where they just like
You're talking
chewed him
about
out in
the
front of everybody
Oh,
for
yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
And until finally like I talked to Larry, who's Thomas's dad, and Larry's like, "Yo, what do you think about all this?" I'm like, "I don't know. I think it's really like hypocritical that Tim said this thing about Jaden's mom's face.
Yeah.
2 years ago, nobody made a deal out of it, and now Thomas said this behind their back, and it's a big deal. And then Larry told Tim's dad that, and then Tim's dad dropped it because then he realized
Yeah.
that it was
Whoa,
hypocritical.
my son's shit too. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. But basically, like what they were doing is like at the first meeting afterwards, they're like, "Oh, Well, actually, yeah, go to the BB gun store. Then we'll talk about the first meeting
alright.
because I didn't go to Camp Careless when this happened.
So anyway, Jessica.
So I didn't find out about it until
Came in
Tuesday.
I,
And then
I remember like Larry called me and he was like, "Boo, so what do you think about this whole thing? You know, they're not treating Thomas fairly." And I'm like, I just didn't want to like do anything, so I was like, "Oh, I have a neutral stance on it." And he's like,
I haven't.
"Oh yeah, well you know, Donovan said it was unfair and all." And I'm just like, Larry, stop talking to me.
Larry, I'm just a kid.
Larry.
Anyway,
What should I? Oh, the gun now.
Yeah, because we got to recap with what they
Yeah,
said at the meeting.
So this is when we got these little assholes in the troop about this time, Dimitri and DeAndre and what was that? Aaron. Yeah, the bug-eyed freak with the big blue glasses that could withstand
That's
like
not
a
very
nuclear
good.
rate blast.
Dimitri's not the guy's actual name, but that's what Thomas
No,
called him.
DeAndre was his name.
Yeah.
He was actually that guy's brother, Dylan.
Yeah.
Remember the one who thought he broke his finger?
Oh,
like
Oh, really?
yeah, that
He didn't break his
didn't
finger,
you
he
break-
lost his nail.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like his fingernail.
Yeah.
Wasn't that you who did that to him?
No, Aiden. Or not Aiden, fuck. Really buff one in the troop right now. Addison.
Oh yeah, him, Billy Buffalo. So anyway,
Addison
yeah.
did it.
So I thought it'd be a good idea to bring like the smallest, lowest powered gun, the tension getter gun, like because I
Real
knew
gun.
these guys steal my shit. And actually, I just want
Yeah.
to have fun plinking. What gun you said?
Real gun.
Oh,
You didn't specify what kind of gun.
oh yeah, airsoft by the way, not Rio.
Oh, okay.
And,
Not very powerful. Only a 38.
guys, and I brought it, and my feeling was right. They kept stealing my shit out of my bag, like my candy, because I knew I brought a big bag, and I was gonna distribute it to them. Like, yeah, guys, be patient. And every time I come back, there'd be wrappers all over my floor, and the bag would be open, and like my backpack was obviously like open and shit, and I actually caught them in there.
Yeah, they took your laptop and you shot them in the head. I
Yeah,
remember.
dragged them back in the
Shoved
cabin.
in the leg, dragged him back inside, shoved him.
So I saw them and I shot them. I started like, oh my god, that's it. I took the gun and I just started shooting them. I got like Dylan and Eric shooting spree. I'm like, alright, boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
Except, I mean, the gun doesn't hurt. Like, I've
Yeah,
been shot
like-
with it like point blank and
yeah.
it doesn't hurt.
And
Was
I
it
love
the,
how
like fully auto one where it's like
No, it's just a little.
it's a little
one
tiny
that
gun
he
like this big,
Oh, okay.
and it cocks. It's literally
Yeah.
it's in your hand, you can't see it. That's how
Yeah.
small it is. And I love how I only get the blame because other people got a hold of it and were shooting each other with it, and they never got like blamed. Like Tim took it, shot Addison right in the asshole.
That was Larry's
Yeah.
argument.
Oh, and I shot Eric in the eye on accident. He was like
Oh,
doing
yeah.
this to his phone, and I'm like, I'm gonna shoot your phone lens if you don't start recording. And then like right when he moved, I shot him like right in the eye, and he got so mad, but it hit him right here. But anyway, the gun, everyone died, so it was pretty chaotic.
Yeah, and Thomas got in a lot of trouble for it, but
Yeah. Oh, and Addison, the word got out to Jessica. So the next meeting, Jessica pulls me outside and she's like, "Hey, what is wrong with you?" He's like, "I can't even begin to tell you how this fun." So he's like, "What kind of sick person brings a gun like to a Boy Scout outing and does that? Talks about what is it, Scoutmaster's wife like that?" And he's like, "You know what?" He's like, "Yeah, right now you're the bully of the troop, or your nickname at our house is the bully of the troop." That's your nickname.
yeah,
That's
this
how-
this
Wow.
adult woman starts, you
Your
know,
name at our house.
talking down to this like 16-year-old kid
Yeah.
about how
We
he's the
call you
bully.
names at our house, like
Yeah.
behind your back.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, we don't even
Shit.
know. He's like, we think you're like, yeah. He's like, we think you're like unstable. How do we know? Like, I don't even want Addison coming on a camp out with us. Like,
Yeah, she
how
was
do you-
telling that to like the adult leaders, like you should not let Thomas come on the outings because I don't want to let my kid go with Thomas.
yeah. She's like, yeah. She said her ultimatum was like either Addison, if she's not on an outing as chaperone, Addison can't go if I'm there. So like, if I'm there, Addison's got to be with her, or I can't be there.
Or he can't be there, but
Yeah.
Yeah, so
or
what-
he can't be
the
there.
recap I got from it was I didn't go to the Camp Careless that time, but like on Tuesday, like I get
You
there.
weren't.
No, I didn't.
Oh no, like the next year you mean? You
I
were
wasn't.
there.
I wasn't there for the gun.
Yeah, you were.
No, I wasn't.
He was with us, right?
I was.
You were there.
Maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, you were.
What did
You
she
were there with the
say?
gun because you were like,
Okay,
his
maybe
back-
I was.
Yeah, because you said you were seeing shit like my dad. You were like backing me up.
All right, but what
you weren't
happened
there
was
the next year.
what happened was like on Tuesday the
Because Mason
recap
was
was
there.
like, yeah, so Camp Careless was a bit chaotic this year. Talk about people's wives, videos, guns. I don't know. It's just like holy shit, what happened? Like, but like they went through it and like basically Thomas is obviously the culprit of all of those things. And so the focus of the entire meeting was on Thomas.
Yeah, grilling him.
I remember that. I
Like
had to,
directly and indirectly.
Yep.
And
I remember someone coughed under the bed like, Thomas. Like someone did that to me at dick.
yeah.
What was the thing that Jessica said about like the gun, where she was like, I should have called the cops or something.
Oh yeah, she's
Hilarious.
like, yeah, you're lucky I didn't call the cops on you,
Yeah.
because that was like considered like danger and stuff.
It
And
was-
she's like, how do you? And it's like, I don't even want you coming on my camp out anymore. How do I know you won't bring a real gun next time?
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah, that's what she said.
yeah.
I can't believe that.
She's autistic.
What did she say to Larry when they got in that little
Oh, you were right next to me.
exchange? Yeah, I
Yeah,
was right
so-
next to you, but
Larry
So the
and
next
Jessica
year.
fight to the death.
So yeah. So the next year.
crazy.
So the next year, me and Donovan, or me and Logan was begging me on his knees, like, for
Yeah.
me to stay. And then I'm like, okay. So I asked my dad, but when I asked my dad, he was talking to Jessica already. And I asked, and she's right there, so of course she buds in. She's like, yeah, so if you stay, are we going to have another repeat of last year? And he's like, yeah, that's pretty chaotic. And then he's like, yeah, I will call the police this time or something. And my dad's like, yo, Jessica, you're dropping now. It's been a year. He's like, what do you mean just drop it? You're not significant that way? And my dad's like, yeah, you're getting a little out of line. They start going at it.
He's like, come on, you're a woman.
Come on, you're a woman. Equality hasn't been set in place yet. And he was like,
doesn't hit you enough, dude.
yeah, where's that shot caller?
yeah, and throughout their little argument, Jessica kept getting madder and madder and madder because she's trying to egg him on, and Larry's like, it's no big deal, it was a year ago, I'm just gonna go home and watch
It
movies."
is not a big deal. Please stop.
Yeah, my dad. And then like towards the end, he started like siding with her. He's like, okay, yeah, feel free, call the cops if he does
Yeah.
something like that. Like,
I remember like Jessica used to be like really bitchy to me.
Used
And
to.
then like eventually like she's got to the point where she realized like I didn't really care about being disciplined, because like by the time she really got into full effect I was already like 16 or 17, so I was about to age out anyways, and I didn't care about rank advancements, so she couldn't hold
Yeah.
anything over my head. Like she couldn't like hold over like rank advancents, or she
You
couldn't
couldn't
hold
hold it
over
over
like
Thomas's
leadership
head either.
positions.
Remember?
She couldn't do anything like, and she,
Because Larry would.
you remember charades?
yeah, like I can't remember
What
what she got
happened
mad at me about once, but like
Remember your brother?
Oh yeah.
Remember?
At camp.
Wait, what?
So we were doing charades in front of Jessica at the
Yeah,
bonfire.
we were doing, like,
and
movies.
Tom was there. Yeah, movie charades.
Yeah.
And then so Logan's first was like,
I had 12.
yeah,
And then whipping.
And then I'm like 12 years a slave. And then I'm like, we already kind of had it planned out. I'm like, 12 years a slave. He's like, yeah, that's it. And then Jessica was like, she's
so
like,
yeah, Logan just imitated number 12, whipping, and then a monkey. And
Yeah.
And then after that, his brother goes up.
And he's like, it was right after the Paris moment. So he was like,
Oh my
he
god.
makes like guitar motions and he like starts shooting his audience. And then he did a running motion and then blowing up and he's like, come on, Jessica, it's the terrorist attack.
you're so
Daniel's
adorable,
amazing,
Daniel.
That wasn't a big deal.
Yeah,
they
but
don't
he was
care
like
about-
he was like 12 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that was it. That's the whole.
Was that-
that's the
No,
whole-
we got other shit we
I
can
know,
talk
we
about for
gotta-
sure. We
It's
just
just
I
like
gotta go
I'm
home.
tired.
I'm tired. I don't want to crash and die. We should do like another one.
Second half, yeah, part 2.
Yeah.
What if we just repeat what we said?
There's so much more left.
I know.
This has been an hour and 46
That's
minutes.
insane.
Yeah.
That was an hour and 46 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hey, brother. So your phone?
Should we just keep going?
We can't do it without Bernie.